This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Well, it's been a quiet week here in Lake Scobbing, my hometown. This week, the Squids discuss Music League and jump into conversation with Scott Hatch of Burnt Toast Vinyl. They talk about starting the label, Purple Door, Steve Taylor, Danielson, Stryper, extreme album releases, letterpress, creating vinyl records, and more.
That's right, we're doing a podcast.
Forgot about that.
Hey, bro!
It's a good thing you said that. We'd have been here 2 hours later and be like, oh no, you guys were going to have to do it all over again from the beginning. Try to remember everything you said.
Quick, pull up the transcript.
Oh, crap. We didn't even take that.
Yo, how's it going?
Hey, Brock.
Hey. Happy Failure Puddle Friday, buddy.
Check this out.
Oh, Oikos.
Oh, what kind of Oikos? Blueberry?
Yes, blended Greek yogurt with a big blueberry on it. There we go.
And that was amazing. Ooh.
And this is me having some yogurt.
Nice.
I can turn off original sound.
It sounds delicious, though.
It's real
Depends on
good.
how much you slurp it.
It's harder to slurp. It's harder to slurp yogurt, I guess.
Yeah.
It's true.
But I'm trying.
Do the best you can.
Good episode of Christian Cringe this week. It was just a game, like the entire episode.
Oh, yeah. With Fafalios, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So it was...
I like that guy.
Yeah. So it was is this a real Christian music lyric or one that Fafalios made up?
Really? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
And then who guessed? Matt and Katie?
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see if we can get him on our show sometime.
Oh, yeah. That would be awesome.
That would be fun.
Brock, are you up for another round of Music League?
Sure. I'm always up for a round of Music League in which I can alienate every participant. That's my specialty. We're going to do another round of all songs by a band you hate.
Actually,
I loved that round.
I do have terms for new Music League participation.
You have terms?
I do. I think if we do another one, there should be no 5 Iron Frenzy songs or Reese Roper adjacent bands allowed on any round
Thank you.
for any reason.
Okay.
Because I've been alienated by Switch. I can't even use Switchfoot.
Well, no, it's because it's just too easy. Everybody hits like 3+3 on every time a 5 Iron. It's like, come on, guys. Like, we're just suckers for this.
I do like
If
that.
5 Iron is out, I'm out. I will quit and protest.
And for those reasons, I'm out.
It's going to be an all Christian ska music league, but you can't use any of the big 3.
Best Tasty Snacks records, yeah.
Caleb will win by a landslide because he knows more than the
All
rest
bunch
of
of Believers songs.
Bombs over, bruh. Never mind.
Do we? I want to hear a B.O.B. version of Bombs Over Broadway.
bunch of believers, bunch of believers, bunch.
What's QPEC up to, anyways? Can we get him on with this? Can we have him do that for us?
Oof.
Or should we ask several supercomputers to do it for us and then figure out how much water they've spent on the task?
See what the Carmen bot has to say about this.
Carmen bot, please advise on the use of AI products.
Oh, hey, we have any voicemails?
No, we took care of it the other day.
Oh,
Yeah.
who knew?
Yeah, we're all.
Do we have a
caught up.
guest today? Is there anybody going to join us?
Well, before we have
Yeah.
anybody join us, I think we should remind people you can call in at 985-28-SQUID to let us know who you want to listen to and talk to and converse with or want us to. That's 985-28-SQUID, 985-287-7843. Horrible ad.
And while you're waiting for the operator to pick up, why don't you browse the merch shop at aphc.dashery.com?
Ooh, I hear they got pillows.
And socks. Our guest is here, actually.
Oh, we got a guest?
We do.
Oh,
Crazy.
yeah.
I thought we were just
Did
talking
the
about the
did,
dashery.
did the waiting room work for you, Brock? Did you see the video?
I did see the video.
Did you hear it?
I did not.
Oh, I'm gonna let him in.
Hey!
Scott,
Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
it's going pretty good. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I was trying to remember. Did we give you, I guess, Jared, you've been giving everybody the rundown, right?
Yeah, a little bit in the email.
Okay. Yeah. So you have kind of an idea of what you're in for, Scott, and whether or not you'll be happy when it's over.
Well, that's the first time.
Was I supposed to get a rundown? I don't think I did.
Well, I
Okay.
attach a PDF in the email, but if you like, I don't assume everyone reads it.
Oh, I was supposed to read a PDF. Oh,
You don't need to.
It's actually better that you didn't.
I think honestly,
We're not that professional. You're fine.
that's for people who are on the fence about whether they actually want to be on the podcast or not, and that helps them make that choice.
I did listen to 2 podcasts with Almquist that you guys did yesterday.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah,
I kind of know a little bit about what to expect.
All right, you got
very
an idea.
good,
Yeah.
excellent.
Yeah, he's my buddy, so I wanted to hear what he had to say.
I love it.
Right.
He's a good dude.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Yeah.
So Brock, do you have an intro for us?
Yes. Have you ever heard of Hatch chilies? You're probably wondering who invented them, where they came from. Well, all of you who enjoy Hatch chili would be glad to know that we have obtained, as a guest on our show, the inventor of Hatch chilies. He put together the very first ones. Scott
Yeah.
Hatch, thank you for joining us.
Sure. Happy to be here. I'm glad you like my creation.
Absolutely. Yeah, the only problem with the chilies is that they don't play very well on a turntable, and I've been trying to figure out what to do about that.
Mm.
It's true. Probably like the Value Pack Jalapeno album would be like spicy one.
It would.
Yes.
It would. Yeah. I don't have it yet, but then also I've never paired it with toast.
Gotta burn that toast though.
Is that right? Burn toast. Is that the secret? If we burn toast, we get to listen to the jalapeno record.
Sure, that
Okay.
works. That's great. The Hatch chili version.
That was well done. One of your best intros yet.
Scott, you've already gone so much farther along with this than most people would. So I think you get the prize of valor.
Hey, I'll riff all day.
Excellent.
But we all had all of us except for Jared had the pleasure of meeting you at the Goaty Hook show in 2025 April.
Yeah.
We were all there in not Philadelphia. I flew out of Philadelphia and I flew into Philadelphia. Millersville. That's right. Just outside of Lancaster.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
But we were there for Goaty Hook and for Huntington's, and who, to my wondering eyes, should appear but Scott Hatch, the founder of Burnt Toast Vinyl.
I would not miss it.
Yeah. So I'm really glad you were there. It was really fun to get to share that. And oh, hey, look at that shirt you're wearing.
Got that Goaty Hook shirt today.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
incredible. Amazing.
Oh, yeah. Had to in your honor for where we met. Yeah.
Nice. No, that's awesome.
So I think, Scott, when I met you there, I think I was able to tell you thank you so much for Burnt Toast Vinyl, because without Burnt Toast Vinyl, I wouldn't have my copy of Everybody Makes Mistakes by Starflyer 59.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, that's a hard to get one for sure.
Yeah, it was easier back then. All you had to do was put money into the mail and hope that it would get there.
Yeah, it might show up a little bent up, but yeah, it would make it.
Yeah, and I'm not sure it was either that one or Supertone Strike Back, only one of which you were involved with, I know. So,
Okay.
unless
Okay.
you weren't doing any other, because Tooth and Nail did some vinyl runs, but I feel like they were probably going through somebody else for most of the production, right?
Yeah, I did. In back in the day, I would have done Huntington's High School Rock,
Okay.
Starflyer Fashion Focus,
Mhm.
Starflyer Everybody Makes Mistakes. And then later on, I did Talking Voice, Singing Voice, Starflyer, and then Dial M and The Changing of the Guard.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, very good. Thank you for your service in that. I know that there's a lot of vinyl owners who are lucky enough to have those releases who are very happy about it as well. And anybody else, like you said, anybody else who doesn't have them yet is just plain out of luck.
Yeah, because I think on Discogs those records are like $300, $400, $500, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. Supply and demand. It's a classic example of
No,
economics.
definitely.
Yeah. Do any of you other guys, Jared, Kevin, Pete, do any of you guys have some Burnt Toast vinyl releases in your collections?
Oh, absolutely. So way back in the day, some of the early Huntington stuff was Flying Tart.
Yeah.
They also had some Burnt Toast Flying Tart like combination releases as well, right?
Yeah. So like one of the first albums that I put out was the Rocket to Ramonia.
Rocket to Ramonia, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I guess technically that's on Lying Fart Records, not Flying Tart.
Yes. Yep. I do
Sorry,
remember
Alex.
that being on there. So that was probably the very first one that I got off of the label.
Okay, yeah.
And then after the Huntingtons, All the Stuff and More, was that also Burnt Toast?
Yeah, we
Okay.
did. Yeah, it was like a compilation of like early songs that they sort of re-recorded.
Yeah. And then after that, the next one I would have got would have been the Farquar Muckenfuss. I got that album.
Yeah, awesome. No, that's great. That's a great record.
Oh, it's so good. It's a lot of fun. And like I saw it and just the name alone and then seeing like the description kind of like surf punk sci-fi, I was like, that's perfect. I like all those things. So
that is your lane, Kevin.
It is.
So good. Yeah. No, that's a great record. I was at the Best Friends Forever festival in Las Vegas like recently in October. And I was sitting on a wall minding my own business, and a gentleman came to sit down, asked if the seat next to me was open, and I let him sit down, and then he said, "Hey, are you Scott Hatch?" And I was not expecting that. And then he said that he had been to a show in Philadelphia where Driver 8 and Farquar Muckenfuss played together.
Oh, wow.
And he remembered that show like probably 1997, 1998. And the thing that stuck out, he was wondering why the Dead Milkmen came to the show. And Joe from the Dead Milkmen was good friends with Farquar Muckenfuss and produced that album. So like occasionally like Joe would pop up more frequently at the Farquar Muckenfuss shows, but that particular show, I think more of the Dead Milkmen members showed up, and this guy remembered that. So fascinating to make those ties, make those connections.
That's cool.
And then actually Dan, who was the bass player for Farquar Muckenfuss, is the current bass player of the renewed Dead Milkmen. The original bass player passed sadly, and so Dan is now the current bass player, which is awesome.
Huh. How long's he been playing with them?
I don't actually know. I think the Dead Milkmen sort of came out of retirement maybe 10 years ago. It might be even longer.
Yeah.
I'd have to do some research to figure that out. But I think Dan has been there ever since they reformed.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll have to check because they played at the Newberry Comics up here on Record Store Day. And
awesome.
So I actually brought both of my kids to go see him. So it's, I've got like a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old at the Dead Milkmen, like right up front, like dancing along.
Nice.
It was a lot of fun.
No, that's great. That's great.
Yeah, I had a Huntington record. Which albums from Explosions in the Sky did you put out?
I didn't put any Explosions in the Sky records out, but I would sell them like through mail order.
Right. Okay, because I saw it on your roster. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually, maybe confession time. I would sell them at Cornerstone, and I would, get some raised eyebrows about some of the records I would sell. But it's all it's all good. It's all in the soup.
Well, yeah, it was curious for me because I love Explosions in the Sky, and I saw that on the roster on one of the rosters I read, and I'm like, I wonder which one. But that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
It's on the Wikipedia that I was looking at this week, and I'm like, okay.
Oh, that could be like, yeah. So I've actually never put out an Explosions in the Sky record, so maybe there's a mistake there.
Okay, so just from what I was reading, I knew Huntington's was for sure for you.
Yeah, some instrumental rock bands though, like definitely like Unwed Sailor, Saxon Shore, the UK band Indie Halda.
Oh, cool.
So like a few post rock instrumental bands, definitely.
Sweet, interesting. Yeah,
you were involved with Some Me Without You, right?
Yeah, I did. I did the initial pressings of Brother Sister and It's All Crazy.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I came a little bit late to the Me Without You camp. So I had put out Greg Jahanian's band Sans Culotte on CD. Like we had sent them in the studio, like 1998, 1999, one of the earlier records that I did, and then they ended up changing their name to The Operation.
Yes.
And we did an EP, and then they got signed to
Take Hold, right?
Yes, Take Hold.
Yeah.
And then Take Hold promptly got sold to Tooth and Nail. So then
Right.
they were on Tooth and Nail. I think they were trying to avoid being on Tooth and Nail. Maybe that's insider voice commentary. And then Me With You had sort of started up like a little bit more like screamo hardcore at the beginning. So it's definitely a little more intense. So like, I mean, I knew those guys. I knew that was happening. And then it wasn't until I think I saw them at Furnace Fest maybe in 2002 that I started to realize like, oh, wait a minute, they kind of changed up a little bit, and it was like, you know, way more interesting to me.
Sure.
And kind of got on the Me Without You bandwagon a little bit.
Did you ever go to any of the Purple Door down in that area?
So it's probably not on the Wikipedia page, but I would consider myself a founder of Purple Door.
That's cool.
Oh.
Well, because I knew of your proximity to, you know, where the festival was. I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, so like what I would consider to be the true history of Purple Door. So my friend Tim Eddings, he booked bands in Ohio, and I booked bands in Philadelphia. And then our friend Kurt Weaver booked bands in Lancaster.
Cool.
And we had another friend that booked bands in Chambersburg, Pennsylvania. And so sometimes we would work up these little mini tours. Like we did one with Morelos Forest. We did another one, I think, with Sixpence None the Richer. I think another one with Hoi Polloi. So we would kind of like team up and do these little tours together. And they were pretty successful. And Tim had been working on this idea for a music festival. And he was the one that sort of, you know, came up with the name Purple Door. And then, you know, got me on board. This would have been like late 1995, early 1996. And then, you know, because we knew Kurt and had done some shows with him, we brought him on as well. And he then promptly got hired by Creation Concerts that in some ways kind of took it over, but we also needed them to do things like pay for insurance and have some credibility, those kinds of things. So that's really kind of how it happened.
Okay.
And so I would always like lurk in the background. I ran the art gallery for a long time, and I tried to put, if you saw weird bands at Purple Door, I tried my best to make that happen. It was difficult to kind of get that you know, idea across. Like I remember fighting to have Danielson play on the main stage, and that was like a little bit too weird. But I think eventually they gave in, and that did happen. But yeah, so definitely some challenging work to kind of get interesting bands to play that festival.
Oh, for sure. And I brought that up because of we were just talking about Me Without You. The one year I got to Purple Door was with, it was Me Without You was playing the main stage.
Oh, yeah.
Reliant K was playing. So that's why I was curious if you had any connection. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think for a while, Tim was Reliant K's manager. So I think that would have explained like some of the Reliant K involvement. And also they were very large, you know, important band.
Yeah. Yeah. They were huge. When I went to see them, they were big. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we would sort of have experimental music on the patio of the art museum in later years, or on the art gallery, not art museum. You know, so when they would have kind of more mainstream bands play the main stage, we would have experimental music happening.
Yeah, and I went in the 2000s, so it was towards the end of Purple Door. I wish I had gotten there sooner because I know friends of mine in Pennsylvania loved it every year they went. So.
Oh no, for sure, yeah.
I wish I at that time I was living up in upstate New York, so up in the Adirondacks, and so I didn't get down for that. But one year I'm just like, you know what, I'm doing it. Let's go.
Yeah, I've been working on some Joe Christmas liner notes, and I was digging into the archives, and Joe Christmas was supposed to play Purple Door in 1997, but then they broke up, so weren't able to play. But just a weird factoid that came across my my memories earlier today.
The problem with breaking up is that you can't perform anymore.
It is true. It's true. You can always reunite though.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. And honestly, reunion shows, people love those.
Oh yeah.
No, totally.
Exactly. It's never too late.
It's never too late. Yeah, and actually, you know, the Goaty Hook reunion show was very good. Like, so I saw them in Virginia, and then I saw them twice in Millersville, and they were great live. I don't know if this is the right way to describe it, but possibly better than I remember them being like in the, back in the day in the original era. Yeah, really sounded great.
They've been honing them, like they obviously they wrote the songs back then and they were the band they were at the time, but like they've grown older and they can't help but getting better, I would think, if they've been working at it. And I always see Adam posting videos of, at least he and Jamie doing practices together, and that I'm sure that counts for a lot. That's why they sounded as good as they did, and they were just spot on. It was everything I wanted out of a Goaty Hook show.
It was really good.
I don't know about you, but yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, I was glad they included Conrad in some songs as well.
Yeah.
I wish Mark Lacasse would have made it out from LA to play in the show, but that's difficult.
Yeah, it's hard to imagine someone coming from the West Coast all the way for that show in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Yeah, no, totally. But I can dream.
Yeah, we all can dream, right?
I do like what you said a little bit ago about trying to book the more weird and interesting bands at the festival. That was one thing that kind of drew me into a lot of the Burnt Toast releases, was growing up as a youth group kid, and it's a lot of the Forefront records type stuff, and then it was I was looking for something that was more, I listened to Fugazi and Minor Threat and stuff like that. So then it was oh, here's the Huntingtons. Great. Yeah. It's the Ramones, but faster. And that's cool. Yeah. And then just getting into the stuff that was different from all that other stuff. And then, obviously getting into Unwed Sailor and, the Farquar Muckenfuss, because it was just so different from everything else that I absolutely loved it.
No, that's great. That's great. No, totally. We always, I always try to put out records that I like. So yeah, just, trying to find new things, and yeah.
I am curious, is that the genesis of Burnt Toast? Did you have friends who wanted to put stuff out and you said, hey, well, let's make this happen?
I went to college in Philadelphia at Drexel University, and I was part of the radio station there. So it was we were a CMJ reporting station. So cool. College Music Journal. There was a CMJ festival that would happen every year, the New Music Seminar in New York City, for a long time, until I think CMJ went bankrupt. But we were kind of a cool punk rock college station, and so I try to play music that I liked, and then also book bands that I liked on campus. And then it was kind of the early days of Tooth and Nail touring bands, and so it was pretty easy to get bands to play on campus. And when that would happen, there would be bands in the area that I became friends with, or that kind of knew the shows were happening, and we would have different bands kind of open up. So that's how I became friends with Cricket, who later became Huntingtons. Or I want to say maybe the second show they ever played was Goaty Hook opening up for Scattered Few in 1994. So I met those guys early on. So yeah, definitely met a bunch of like local bands, and then I did 2 live 7-inches that were recorded at shows that we did at Drexel. To kind of switch from, I did a zine that would kind of advertise the shows called Burnt Toast, and so the 7-inches were like the first beginnings of Burnt Toast vinyl, which is why it was vinyl, because they were actually 7 inches. And then the kind of the Huntington's record kind of fell into my lap, and so stuff just started to happen.
7-inch records were a lot more common, I feel like, in kind of the punk circles, especially. It was the punkest way to release your music. But was it easier to get 7 inches done than it was LPs?
It was super cheap.
Time?
Yeah, at that time. So you could kind of make your own covers pretty easily. A little harder to make LP covers, and just like the commitment was like a bit more. So you could make, I don't remember the month. So I actually got a scholarship my senior year of college, but I'd already paid for that semester, so it was like basically like free money. So thank you, scholarship people that helped start the record label. So they ended up paying for the first 2 7-inches, and then I was in a noise band, and we did a 7-inch as well. So we did like three records to start.
Sick.
What was the noise band called?
White Trash Incorporated Orchestra.
Love it. That's a good name. Good name for a noise band, especially.
Yeah. No, it was fun. Instead of going to art school, I went to engineering school, but I had some energy to get out.
Sure. Well, and it's interesting to me how, like, if you're good at at things like engineering, then I feel like that lends itself to certain aspects of music production and music promotion and like
Sure.
just the manufacturing process. Like you're going to be closer to some of the mechanisms because you understand the machines or you understand the systems that it takes to make these things or something like that. You're blessed to be a blessing.
No, totally, totally. No, exactly. Yeah.
I've been scrolling through the catalog here as we've been talking of what's on
Oh, sure,
burnttoastvinyl.com. Uh,
sure.
sorry, btv.foxhole.info is what I'm seeing.
Oh, that's the online store.
Okay, yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Just checking to see what's in stock, what's here. It's there are 25 pages of options as I'm browsing as I'm looking here. So I feel like everyone should go and check them out because there's got to be something there that you'll like.
Yeah, I think we're up to catalog number. I think we're in the one. We're like 144, 145, and then I also have like some select distro titles that you can get like through the online store. I was always a big fan of Godspeed You Black Emperor, and those records are pretty easy to get. So like those are almost always in stock. And there's a smattering of records that I sort of believe in and support that we try to sell like as mail order options. So you can buy an Explosions in the Sky record if you want.
Right.
We try to keep those in stock as well.
Well, thank you for throwing me that bone. I appreciate it.
And a couple, we're actually recording this today on the release anniversary of Luxuries.
Amazing, and thank you.
And no, it's that's tipping the hand to when we're recording this, but yes, that today is the day, and you did an excellent two-color reissue of that as a double LP, which is fantastic.
No, great, great. No, yeah. Thanks for liking it. Yeah, happy to see that come out. Those guys are great. I mean, those two records are incredible, and I'm glad that they're finally on vinyl. Maybe didn't sell as well as I thought they might, but we still got plenty of copies. Go buy them up.
Well, and yeah, the people who love luxury and don't have that yet should go get them. And the people who don't know luxury, because I was one of those just a couple of years ago. Like I hadn't really ever heard them
Oh,
back in the day, and so
okay.
someone, yeah, connected the dots for me, and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. I should probably stock up. And I believe I picked up all three of the titles that you have on the site.
Oh, awesome.
The
Awesome.
other thing to note is a couple of the shining stars in my collection. We've got all of the Steve Taylor and Chagall Guevara affiliated re-releases. So
Yes.
the original Chagall Guevara on
Yeah.
black or green, and The Last Amen, which was the concert that was recorded in 1991 and not released until what, 23, I think.
Right.
Yeah. And so that is available, and I've got that one. And then the new Chagall Guevara, the Halcyon Days record, which is also pretty good. And
Oh,
that looks
totally.
real good on red vinyl. So
No, totally.
I feel like that sits maybe a little outside of the wheelhouse, but I'm guessing that maybe they turn to you because you have a relationship with Daniel Smith.
Yeah, yeah. So I met I just laughed because I met Daniel at a Plank Eye show that we put on at
Wow.
Drexel
Sick.
1994, 1995. And this sort of like long-haired gentleman with a headband came up to me and told me that he had been recording as Danielson and he had a song on an upcoming Tooth and Nail compilation. And there were some interesting characters that would come to shows, so I was definitely a little skeptical if that was real.
Like, sure you are,
or
buddy. Buy something on the way out.
imagined. And then I heard it and I was like, whoa, that weird gentleman is a weird gentleman, and I am now a big fan of Danielson.
Yeah, that band definitely fits into that, like totally oddball, weird, but man, it's so cool.
No,
It's a
totally,
good kind of
yeah.
weird,
So
yeah.
we as soon as they were ready to play live, we ended up booking a show with them. And there's Harry from the band The Throws. He had a band on Spin Art that I love called Pool, sort of like a jangle.
Oh, that
pop
was
band.
him.
That was him, yeah. And so we did a
Pete,
show with
Pool.
Danielson and Pool. And in fact, I have been talking to Harry for a long time. Actually saw him. I was the one that suggested that The Throws open up for Goaty Hook when they reunited in Virginia.
Yeah.
And Harry played drums. And so I got to talk to him and convinced him that we should reissue Alaska Days and Among Whom We Shine on vinyl. So eventually we're going to do that. We have all the graphics done for that. It's more of, when do we want to pull the trigger on it? So I'm sure there's like 30 people in the universe that care about it. I am one of those 30, so I'm going to make it happen. But hopefully we can find some new fans. I think that like jangle pop kind of thing, like shoegaze adjacent is kind of coming back. So maybe there's another 100 fans out there we can find and make this thing break even.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Pete and I are in line to get those, and Jared and Kevin will be as soon as we convince them how great they are.
Alaska Days may be one of the catchiest records I've ever heard. Like so many sugary pop gems. Like, I mean, Harry's a
Sorry,
genius.
Kevin.
Like, they're really good songs.
Kevin doesn't really go for catchy.
Oh, sorry.
It depends.
No sugary pop for that boy.
It'll get into your brain like a worm.
Yeah.
And then we ended up doing the release show for Tell Another Joke on a Chopping Block with Danielson, and we sort of did it as like this punk rock prom. And so it was definitely like the crowning achievement of like shows that I put on. So all the folks that had come to shows like sort of dressed up in their thrift store formal attire, and we had like a little prom dance to celebrate the release of the Danielson family record. And then a band opened up, was called Jane Crazy, and that featured Christian Vargo, that would later be Scientific, and then later join the Fleet Foxes and be, like on Saturday Night Live playing Fleet Foxes songs.
Insane.
Yeah.
It all comes together. And then I ended up helping Dan start his Sounds Familiar record label because we were trying to put the Tri Danielson Alpha and Omega records out on vinyl. And it was actually, I would have to pay a lot more money to license it if I did it. But if Dan did it on his own label, we could avoid the licensing fees. So we decided to just start his label. And that was sort of the beginning of a working relationship between Dan and I.
Nice.
We're going to defeat capitalism with capitalism. Something like
Exactly.
that.
And there's the episode title.
Yeah. You do anything with the Electric Jesus movie?
I did not, though. I had a party at my house this past summer, and Chris, who was the director, was there with Dan. And I had the summer before I had gone to see Stryper play at the City Winery with my friend.
Let's go.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
And they conned me into buying a bottle of Stryper wine that the band had autographed. And I thought I was going to drink it at the show, and I was very excited. We're at the City Winery. I'm going to drink Stryper wine that they had autographed, but apparently it was a souvenir to take home. So it was sitting on my shelf, and Chris said, "You have autographed Stryper wine?" And I'm like, "Oh, buddy, we're opening it up." So we drank the Stryper wine with Chris from Electric Jesus.
Oh, that's sweet.
amazing.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's
I got this sitting next to my. I grabbed it at one of their. Yeah, that's right,
so
baby.
good.
That's right.
Good.
I went to Hell with the Amps tour. They were throwing, of course, traditional. Every show they throw them out.
Yeah, that was the tour at the City Winery. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I saw them in their New York, Massachusetts run, and
Nice.
happened to just snag one in Utica, Rome, that area.
Now, I did see Stryper play when I was a freshman in high school on the In God We Trust tour.
Yep.
And my dad did. I'm not sure he knew what he signed up for, but he took my friend Ron and I to see them play with White Lion.
Nice.
And it was awesome.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Michael's from. He's in Massachusetts on the Cape.
Yeah.
So they play around here all the time. So I've seen them way too many free shows at casinos.
Oh wow! Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
They play the Wolf Den all the time at Mohegan Sun, and it's like, all right, yeah, I'll go for free. Let's go.
Good. I mean, they make catchy songs.
Oh yeah. They put on a great show. I mean, the double the double guitar solo is pretty awesome. So there you go.
Oh, totally. Oh, and I think that whole like meandering tangent was to explain the Steve Taylor connection.
Yeah.
oh sure.
So Dan and I kind of working together. At one point, Dan was working on sort of like a play or a children's television show, and he was trying to find folks that were honest people in Christian music. And at first I couldn't think of anyone because they're all crooks.
I was going to say, is there anybody?
And then I was like, oh, Steve
That's
Taylor.
tough.
Like Steve Taylor's a good guy.
Right.
And then Dan was like, oh yeah, I have his number. I'm going to give him a call. And then he ended up having a meeting, and I said, oh, well, just tell him that we'll put out the Goliath album on vinyl. If he needs somebody to do that, kind of as a joke, but
Yeah.
ended up being a reality because Steve needed someone to press that on vinyl. I wasn't aware that there was a Kickstarter and that they had promised LPs. So very quickly I was brought into the universe of fulfilling Kickstarter orders.
I was very excited to get my copy. It was that was a big day for me. So as a Steve Taylor fan, it was anything that was new. We weren't ever sure if we'd get anything again, and a whole record on vinyl nonetheless was very exciting to me. So
no, great, yeah, and they were booking a tour to support that record, and they were trying to play Philadelphia, and they were having some difficulty getting a show together. And this was right before the brewery that I was a part of, called Crime and Punishment, had opened. And so I was like, oh, hey, we could have it at the brewery and have, Danielson open. So we made all the arrangements, but I sort of neglected to tell Steve like how small the stage was. So it was like maybe 10 feet by 12 feet, and
just big enough for the drums, right?
Just big enough for the drums. And I think legally we were zoned for 75 people, and I had sold 125 tickets. Don't tell the authorities.
Oh no. Yeah.
So it was just wall to wall people. And when Steve got there, he was kind of making jokes about playing in a canoe, but then all of a sudden, like, the energy of the place was so good that, like, Steve's jumping off of the amps.
Oh, yeah.
The band is having a great time. I mean, it was one of the best shows I've ever seen, just like energy wise for the venue. It was great. It was a lot of fun. And I think the band ended up talking about that. They'll still talk about it. I think it was, really, really great show.
That's wonderful. And if the fire marshal is listening, there were only 74 people in attendance. I think that's probably as to our best remembrance.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And unfortunately we did close down. So, hopefully no repercussions.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
At one time, there was only 74. Yes.
Exactly.
I got to go back to the Stryper wine.
I was hoping you would. Okay.
Who made the Stryper wine? Was it the City Winery or was it somebody else?
Yeah, so I think the City Winery does a thing where, like, maybe they have sort of blank bottles and then they print out stickers for the bands playing.
Okay.
And so basically they sold me like a, I don't know, $40 bottle of table wine.
Sure.
So, okay.
Yeah.
It was a good story and a good memory. So I'm glad I got to drink it with Chris and Dan. So
absolutely.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and I think, what cappage fees come into that year or whatever, like, corking fee, I guess, for wine. You've got all kinds of things, ramifications or whatever.
Sure. No, totally. I will say, when I heard the episode with Almquist, someone was drinking bourbon.
Probably me.
Us.
I do get the single batch bourbon, single barrel bourbon. So this is a Russell Reserve.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah.
And this one is nicknamed Brine Hard. So in connection with the pickle.
Yeah, with pickle, yeah.
Come on.
And then the next one I have here is called Pickly 3, like a play on the Rocky label. So they're like slightly pickly bourbons.
Right.
Oh,
fantastic. Is that
wonderful.
the one at the Olympics? I'm trying to remember what happened in number 3. I don't recall
I think the Rush is 4. I don't know what 3 is.
Yeah.
Man. Hey, Google.
But I will say Rocky 2 features prominently on Upstairs Overlooking by Joe Christmas.
True. That's true. Yeah. Which that's not on vinyl yet, is it?
That is not on vinyl. That is not on vinyl.
Yeah.
We are working on making that happen.
Nice. The Brown 7-inch, the couple skate 7-inch has been on my want list for a long time, and it's just not out there. I feel like I think I've seen one copy for sale for like $500 or something. Just haven't seen a lot of them pass in circulation. Sometimes as a collector, I keep my eye on Discogs, I keep my eyes on eBay, and sometimes you can tell when something has stuff when it's easy to find or when it's not, But for that one, it's just like there aren't that many copies and they don't move too often. So
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, I think they only did a pressing of 300, so that would make sense. I mean, and Couple Skate
that's
is
how they get you.
That's the hit song, right?
Yeah, it's a great song, and I think because I was talking to Jason from Unoriginal Vinyl, and
Okay.
he was saying that it was a different recording. It's not the album version on the 7-inch. I think it might be like a demo version or an earlier recording, earlier version of the song. Great song nonetheless. So I'm sure it sounds great.
I don't want to fight with Jason, but I don't believe that's true. I think that is the
No,
Couple
it
Skate
is the album version.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and
There you
they
go.
pressed up those 7-inch to kind of get some interest in the
Yeah.
record. Yeah, according to Alex Parker. Yeah,
So I'm not
according to
mad
Alex-
about it.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. But there are the 2 bonus tracks. So
Yeah.
I want before we go further, I want to loop back to the Stryper wine just for a second.
yeah.
We could come back to it like periodically
Should I go
throughout
get-
the
I think
interview.
I was gonna wait and make it. I was gonna
Hold on.
wait and make it funnier, and then loop it back like in a half an hour from now. But
Maybe we need,
Jared,
need
you
some-
get to ask in half an hour. You get to ask about
Oh,
it.
good. I have
Well,
some
no,
basic questions about it.
I have some facts for you in a moment.
Okay, so the sticker bills it as water into wine.
Yeah, they made
yeah.
a special bottle just for the
Uh-huh.
night called Stryper Water into Wine.
Amazing.
Smart move, yeah.
I did get saved. I did get saved by the
Yes,
wine.
you did. Yes, you did. I feel it. I feel it. I
Hallelujah.
see it. I feel it.
I
I
think
see
we
it.
need to-
Name
and
and
the
claim it.
We got to cover some basics though. Red or white?
Oh, it was red. It was red.
Okay, that was my guess.
Just like
but,
the blood. Yep.
Yeah, it would be weird to have a white.
I don't think they actually build the grape. I think it's just basically like red table wine.
Okay.
I feel like red wine rocks.
Not fucking Merlot, is it?
Yeah, it rocks harder than white wine, right?
Oh wait, no. I take that back. I don't want to slander the city winery name.
Thank you.
This is
Thank
a
you.
2022 Cabernet Sauvignon
Okay.
Mediterranean.
Well,
Nice.
here's one fact that Michael Sweet talked about on June 5th of 2024, because I remember seeing this post as I saw him on that tour. It was he goes, "What a night! Apparently we broke the record for wine sales at City Winery Philadelphia. They made a special bottle just for the night called Stryper Water into Wine. Go figure." And then with this emoji, with the who knew emoji. Thank you all for coming out and singing so loud, and thank you City Winery Philadelphia for treating us like kings and queens. Prayer emoji. We love you.
Awesome.
Yellow heart, black heart. I don't,
Love it.
not like they. I don't know why they used the yellow and black and attacked it like that, but
There's no way to know. Yeah,
Can't
there's really
figure
no
that
way
out.
to know. It's very obscure.
But apparently, you were at a record-breaking night, so there you go.
Nice. I mean, it was great. It was worth it. I'm glad I did it.
And I feel like that's going to be the last mention of the Stryper wine tonight, right, Jared?
For now, I mean, red wine's automatically more metal than white wine, right?
It really is.
That's true. That's true.
Is it Cabernet Sauvignon the most metal wine? Like, what is the most metal wine? What rocks the hardest among the wines?
I'm not very knowledgeable.
Yeah,
I'm not
I tend
either,
to-
but
I know bourbons.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know bourbon's metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jägermeister is very metal if you're like, let me kill mister.
I think it is. Yeah, I'm a big Jägermeister fan.
Jägermeister's like Norwegian black metal, yeah.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But for any of our listeners, the wine drinkers out there, give us a call, 985-28-SQUID, 985-287-7843. Let us know
That's it.
which wine is the most metal. Okay, continue.
We should also talk. I'm curious about these bourbons too. Are they
Yes,
just
talk bourbon.
like local store picks or
Oh, okay. So it's Russell's Reserve
Right.
right?
that, and it's a single barrel that there's a consortium in the New York City called Beastmasters Club,
Right.
and they will basically you can buy them if you're like
okay.
a member of the club, which means you go to their website.
Right.
Sure.
And I will say that during COVID, I was buying them like every other week because the liquor store shut down, and I was like, oh, that sounds great. Oh, yeah, more
Right.
bourbon, and so I have a stockpile of bourbon.
Oh,
The
my
liquor
God,
store
yeah.
shut down
No, they did.
Interesting.
They shut down.
because in Oregon, liquor was defined as an essential service, and they were allowed to remain open.
So in Pennsylvania, the liquor stores are run by the state, and so
That's right.
Mhm.
It's almost impossible to find alcohol like in a normal time, in a
Yes.
normal era in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I want to say I can't remember. The liquor stores were open for a few weeks and then they were shut down.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mm.
and then I can't remember how long they were closed. It's
Yeah.
weird times. You're
Right.
sitting
Yeah.
around and
For
you're
sure.
like, I'd like some bourbon delivered to my house. I will buy some.
It's
Yes.
amazing. Yeah.
Well, during that time in the state of North Carolina, they made it legal to ship beer
Mm.
because breweries were shutting, like no one was going to a brewery and they shut down, so they were losing money.
Oh,
And so in North Carolina up until that point, you couldn't other than wine's always an exception, but you couldn't ship alcohol in the state legally. Legally.
okay, got
Not
it.
that I've ever shipped
Legally.
alcohol in or out of
Never.
the state of North
Never.
Carolina prior to
It
COVID.
would be impossible to do.
No, never. I've never shipped beer ever,
It's
never.
not a thing you would do. You're a good ethical person.
You have to declare it, right? And I wouldn't have incorrectly declared something
You also
wrong.
would not swear falsely. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
These bottles of yeast samples that I'm sending.
Yo,
What?
Yes.
thank you for that pickle delivery of the
Snow
Cheerwine beer.
globes,
I appreciate
collectible
that. Yeah.
olive oils
Yeah.
with a little
Yeah.
some change in a peanut can.
Collectible glassware. Yeah.
Yeah.
No
That's-
time
That's my favorite.
would anyone ever gather a quantity of nips and put them into a box and
No.
send them across state lines. That just
No.
wouldn't happen. It's
No.
not a thing people would
No.
do. Not us, nor anyone we respect.
I really appreciated that shipment of Cheerwine snow globes. Thank you so much. Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the cheer wine, by the way. I see that in the background.
Yeah.
Well, in North Carolina, they did like a Cheerwine ale. They partnered with a beer company
I
and
saw
did
that.
a Cheerwine ale, and that's might have been a snow globe. We don't know, but that's the only way I was able to taste it.
I remember I got it and somehow you found it on your porch. Yeah.
It's what happened. But you were saying about sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but Cheerwine, yes.
Yeah, so I was thinking again about Joe Christmas, and I went to a festival outside of Atlanta called ISFest in 1994, or Interseeds Festival.
Mm-hmm.
And on the way, we stopped at my aunt's house in South Carolina and got some cheerwine.
Yeah.
I had it one time previous, but that was like a memorable event, getting cheerwine on that trip.
Absolutely.
And it was also the first time that I saw both Joe Christmas and Luxury play.
Oh,
Nice.
And before they were both on Tooth and Nail, it was an incredible like lineup, and like Chris Colbert played as part of Plague of Ethels at the festival as well. Possibly one of the last times that ever happened. So just an incredible lineup.
That's cool.
That is.
Yeah, we seem to always remember our first Cheerwine. I think that I was at a wedding in South Carolina, and I remember my first Cheerwine too. It was like, and I'm a Yankee. I'm way up, way up north. I mean, now I'm in Rhode Island, but
Yeah.
I was in New York, so it was like, they market it as we don't get it up there. So
Occasionally, Wegmans will have it. I have seen
Yes.
it in like
Oh,
glass
yeah.
bottle.
No, the glass bottles are available up here now. Like you can get them at Cracker Barrel nationwide. You can get them at Wegmans, right? Yep.
Yeah.
You can get but in some other, I think Stop and Shop up here had it for a bit. But as far as like in a can or in the plastic bottle, you can only get it, in those states.
When we moved to North Carolina when I was a kid, I was probably 6 or 7. I just remember at the Coke machine, like it said Cheerwine,
Oh,
and I was afraid to push the button. I was like, it says wine.
Ooh.
Like I didn't
Ooh.
exactly know what it was. It was
Christian,
in a
yes.
Coke machine, so it was
I'm
like
gonna get in trouble.
I'm getting-
100%.
Yep.
Wouldn't do it. It took a while before like an adult had to give me Cheerwine before I knew that was okay.
Meanwhile, on my way to Furnace Fest, I went to Bojangles, and I'm like, boom, 9 a.m. Cheerwine, yes.
Yes, make it happen.
Yeah.
I've got a nerdy story. I had a math teacher in high school, and she organized like an Indiana math team. And my friend John and I, we were sophomores, and we got invited to participate on this Indiana math team.
Cool.
So we rode a bus to Duke University, and we stopped at a restaurant, and we saw that they had Cheerwine, this drink we never heard of, like in the fountain section.
Mm-hmm.
We each must have had 8 or 10 Cheerwines. It was love at first drink, first sip, and we just chugged away because we're high school kids and we're thirsty.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It was awesome.
Is Indiana home for you?
Oh yes, yeah. I grew up in Indiana. Yeah.
So how do you feel about Big Red, your regional soda?
I like Big Red. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
good.
That
Yeah,
w-
yeah.
I had an aunt and uncle in Indiana as a kid, and so whenever we go to Indiana, it was that thing of like,
You mean Fago Red Pop? Big Red that's Texas, isn't it?
oh, I thought we would always get it in Indiana, I thought. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Because like Fago is like a Detroit thing, and I feel like that one's
Right.
still in Indiana all the time. You know, like us and Insane Clown Posse.
Maybe it is Texas. I always thought it was Indiana.
I
Yeah.
enjoyed their release on Burnt Toast Final. ICP on Burnt Toast was great. No.
I would definitely do a record with Insane Clown Posse. I don't know how I would do, but that would be a hell of a ride.
Oh man, that would be
We're going to
amazing.
promote this. We're going to find out if we can somehow make it possible.
That would be amazing.
The burnt toast stage at the gathering of the
Yeah,
Juggalos.
would you guys go to the gathering of the Juggalos if someone gave you a free ticket? Like, would you go?
Oh yeah.
Oh, I 100% would.
I feel like you would have to. Sure, yeah.
You'd have to check it out.
It seems like there's no like more accepting or loving group of people. Like it seems like
Right.
they're crazy, but they're good.
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah,
And someone can be good and they can be annoying. It both can be true.
It might be your first meth experience, but you know, we're open to new things.
Yeah.
Yep. Family.
It brings you back to what that sketch that Conan did where he went to go see to the meeting of the Juggalos, and maybe I'm having a meeting of the Juggalos hallucination. I don't know, but I thought he went to one of those, and it was just like he reported back and he said it was something that you have to experience once.
Once.
Yeah, at least once, right?
I definitely would go.
I have to be honest. I think I would be afraid after about the first couple of hours, but it would be enjoying for the first like couple of hours.
When I lived in Illinois, they were still it was like an hour and a half away from where we lived in Carbondale. And I don't think it's there anymore. It was close enough where it would like come up on the news, you know. It was one of those things of like it's the gathering of the Juggalos time. You're like, it is not that far away. This could happen, but I think I'm scared of it too.
It's sort of like going to Cornerstone, right?
Probably.
Yeah. Just about the same.
So if anyone wants to hook us up with free passes to the gathering of the Juggalos, Pete, what's that number?
Press passes, you want to cover this?
Oh, that number is 985-28 Squid. That's 985-287-7843.
Oh, I'm sure you could definitely get a press pass for that.
Oh my goodness, can you imagine? Well, that's my new goal for 2027. Okay.
Bucket list.
Yep.
But you might want to talk to your parole officer about that first. But yeah.
Yep. Make sure it's okay to go.
Yep. Yeah, that's right.
If you don't have one, they assign you one when you check in.
Welcome to the Festival of the Juggalos. Here's your parole officer.
Is that where the ankle bracelet came from? Okay. Oh,
Scott, I'm curious.
Please take us out of this, Brock.
If this is something you're interested in, but you meant you've got several bottles of whiskey there. One thing that we often do on this show is we'll record the sound of the cork coming out of the bottle because it sounds cool. So I don't know.
Oh,
there it is.
Yes.
This is an historic moment for a Pickle Home companion because we've never had a guest cork pop before. You are the very first.
Oh, nice.
God, oh my gosh. That was wonderful. Thank you.
I wasn't sure if you'd be game or not, but I feel like so. Here comes Pete.
All right. So I don't know if you've heard of this brand, the 3-chord.
No.
Okay.
That looks cool.
Oh, that was good.
That was nice.
So that's mainly for John Fortson of Squad 50. He loves when we cork pop. All right, I'm going back down to the original settings. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever met John, but I know Adam and Dave from Squad 50.
Cool.
Nice.
Good people.
They're the Philadelphia guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. Sure. That's the connection. Yeah.
Yeah, John, a regular listener of this pod. So
hello, John.
Yes, indeed. So we always do a cork pop. Wow, easy for me to say for John.
Oh, awesome. That's great.
Yeah, I think before you joined, Scott, I was eating yogurt, and so I did I did the sound of the yogurt container opening, one of those like foil top yogurt, single serves.
Nice. That's like the straight edge version.
Yeah, except the thing is, I'm drinking decaf coffee right now, but I do have. It's not. I'm not drinking. I should go get a beer. I'll be right back. Hang on.
Right.
I don't want to like spur you to alcoholism.
Oh, well, I'm not going to say I'm there because I'm not. But
No, it's only Tuesday nights. We only.
I'm going to join you, Brock, so you're not by yourself.
So
here,
turn on original sound for musicians, so you can listen to me. Go to the fridge in this hotel and pull a can out.
Oh, it's following Jared there. Okay, yeah.
You hear me? Here I go.
We hear you. I was going to talk about 3-chord, but all right, we'll do this bit, Brock.
Oh yeah, 3-chord.
We got to let Brock do his bit.
Here I come. All
Oh
right.
yeah. I should switch my audio back. I guess you don't hear.
Oh
me.
yeah, you're right. I should do that too. Let's see. Because I grew up.
Oh,
There we
nice.
go.
That looks like some fancy label can there. What you got there?
Yeah, this is my favorite Oregon stout, the Cavatica stout from Fort George. I say favorite, then I can't remember which brewery it is. So
Oh.
sorry.
Okay. I went to a brewery when I was in Portland that does like the crazy like quadruple IPAs and barrel aged stouts.
Yeah. I feel like there's still 3 or 4 of those. I'm trying to think of which one it would be.
I want to say Bacchus. It starts with BA.
Okay.
Brewhost.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
BRUJOS.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's new since I lived there. It doesn't sound familiar to me, and I haven't since I moved out of town and I have to drive to and from Portland every time I visit. I do a lot less drinking there, so I can still take the bus. I can take the intercity bus, and hop off and spend the night with a friend and have some drinks. But more often than not, when I'm going up there, I'm in my truck and I just can't do it. So
They do sell cans, so you can take them with you.
there we go. I'm gonna do that. I gotta look it up. But yeah, that sounds like brand new to me.
Yeah, and I have a lot of like friends that may or may not sell or send collectible glassware through the mail, and that may have been
Okay.
Nice.
Sure.
I love that collective glassware. That's great. Oh,
Those are good
Those are the
friends.
best kind of friends. Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I do have a glassware collection. Yes.
We're all in the glassware game, yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of glassware, about that 3-chord. So this was started by Neil Girardo from and Pat Benatar. So they're a couple, and Neil started this bourbon company. He likes to partner with a lot of different bands. Like I have a Hailstorm bourbon. They also partner with Under Oath, the Allman Brothers, like all these other ones. But how I got to know them was they did a one for Furnace Fest. So they didn't do it last year, but for Jared, the first 4 years?
No, that wasn't. They only did it 2 times.
Two times, yeah.
They did
I
it
thought they
3
did
and
3
4.
times.
Yeah, I don't.
All right. Well, so they were associated with Furnace Fest. They did it for at least 2 years. Okay.
No, I don't have any of his product, but the gentleman that Jeff Cloud signed to Velvet Blue most recently, that goes under the name Fapest or
Fapeste. Yeah.
Fapeste, he is a distiller in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's right. I always forget about
I
that.
believe he does make bourbon. I have not gotten my hands on this.
Oh, very cool.
We got to know him through there's another podcast. Our good friend Caleb does the album anniversary podcast, and he's had Fapeste on.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know he was a distiller as well. That's pretty great.
His follow-up record, "The Bottle Ain't Mine to Drain."
Nice. I was visiting Cloud in October, and he was talking that up. But also, Cloud did not seem to have any bourbon to share from him either. So that's suspicious.
Yeah, it sure is.
Well, then we'll have him on. We'll talk about this. That'd be great. Yeah. We'll add him to the list.
He needs to send samples, I think, before with the cork sounds.
Thank you. Yes. All right. We'll put that in our contract.
Absolutely. Yeah. Do you and Cloud, do you guys work together on vinyl releases, or is he doing something else with somebody else in terms of, because I know they do a lot of vinyl too.
Yeah, so we have so we did the Lee Bozeman solo record. I was visiting Cloud, and he's like Hatch, I'm thinking about ending the label, and this is gonna be like how I'm gonna go out in a cloud of glory. And he played me the 4 songs from the EP, and I was like, you got to put this out on vinyl if you're going to, go out in glory. And so I convinced him that we should do it. So we did it on blue vinyl. And then of course, Cloud changed his mind that, he couldn't quit the record label. So he's back in, all in.
We're better for it. I would imagine you being a part of that has a lot to do with Velvet Blue persisting. So I'm glad to hear it.
Tried to steer him back into making bad choices. So
that's it. Yeah. Keep on pulling rabbits from hats.
Yeah. And we appreciate all of those bad choices.
Yes.
Right. We make a lot of our own financially because of them.
Yeah. Yes. No, totally.
I am kind of curious, Scott, if because you're not literally pressing the vinyl, you're working with other companies and whatnot. Presumably, you're not a vinyl manufacturer, but you are a label and you coordinate with the people who make all the different aspects of the packaging. Are you a graphic designer?
I not formally, but I like when I did the Burnt Toast zine, I learned how to do Quark Express back in the day. And then, as you progress, like I learned how to do like Illustrator and Photoshop enough to get by. So I would say for album layout, I'm pretty good from a technical perspective. Maybe not
the
best
executive producer.
Yeah. More like I can square stuff up and be like, no, you didn't send me the files in the right format.
Yeah.
And I can go back and forth and kind of help clean things up. I'm actually working on 2 Costa Rican shoegaze bands at the moment, and we had some back and forth to get the format right for the vinyl versions. They had done CDs, but it doesn't always translate the same way to LP. So we had some work to do.
Like if somebody has, say they designed the artwork for Digipack and it's all like rectangular, and you're like, I need a 12-inch square with enough DPI to print and look good. That's the problem, right? That's the rub.
Yeah, and I'm good at some of those technical details. Most recently, I've worked a lot with Matt Traxler from Steadfast Records, and so like he did the reimagined version of Low Level Owl, and I mean that record looks sick good. Like the original version has feathers on the cover. He bought new owl feathers from somewhere in Eastern Europe or in this former Soviet Union and had them shipped to America and hired a photographer to photograph the feathers to the point you can't tell that he did that, but it looks clearer and more awesome.
Right. It's like the same design with new material. Yeah. It's a new photograph, but it all comes together to be the high definition version of that or something.
Exactly. And that packaging is spectacular. If you're a fan of Appleseed Cast, that version is the definitive best version. It is very nicely done, and Matt had a lot to do with that happening. And then also, I guess me saying like, yeah, let's do it. We got to do all the right things. We got to spend all the money. We're going to do it the right way.
We won't cast aspersions at any particular entity, but there are so many entities that have taken old, albums that people love and made just the trashiest versions of them as vinyl, where like either it's not a good sounding pressing, or it's not, the artwork is there, or heaven forbid, there's absolutely nothing inside the sleeve besides a vinyl record. There's like no inserts, no additional artwork.
Totally.
All these pieces, like that's the thing that makes, I think, the record experience what it is. And so people like you that are doing the work to be sure that when someone buys a record, they have something that they can enjoy and not just listen to, but also have the tactile experience of reviewing and examining liner notes and that sort of thing. Like, I feel like you've done a great job of that.
No, for sure. No, thanks for that. Yeah. And Matt has helped a lot. Like he did the updated version of Element 101 Stereo Girl. He's done actually the adaptations for the Pool records. They're all ready to go. We had photos for the UFO over Lapland record, and I was sort of stuck on what to do with the design, and he kind of took that home. They're a Swedish krautrock band, and they wanted to have photos of the Aurora Borealis on the cover. Yeah. And so my friend in Copenhagen had a friend that was a teacher in Greenland, and his hobby was to take pictures of the Northern Lights. So we made fast friends and ended up using his photography for the cover. And then Matt kind of finish the rest of the design. So Matt is one of my favorite people to use for those kinds of things, and also one of my favorite humans, walking the planet. He's a great guy.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and I think that UFO over Lapland, I think that was thrown into one of my orders. I think maybe when I got the luxury records, that was like a little freebie, the CD version.
Nice.
I've got to say, I did all the things. It's alphabetized on my CD shelf. The files are ripped and into my computer, but I haven't spent any time with that record. I need to sit down and listen to it, and I feel kind of bad that we're talking about it, and I don't know it yet, but I haven't listened, so I need to make time for that.
Yeah, if you're a fan of krautrock, like that's worth your attention. We would play it a lot when I would bartend at the brewery. People would kind of come in and it would be playing, and like everybody would always ask about that record.
Like, what is this?
Yeah, super catchy and like a little bit unusual, but like in a familiar way. So old school like Kraftwerk or Amon Düül, if you're a krautrock fan, like it's in that zone and does honors to the genre.
That's great. I mean, the graphic design on that package is great. It looks really good. It's those Northern Lights that they were reproduced perfectly, and it looks like the vinyl version is green, right? So I may need to go pick that up once I've listened to it.
Nice. Well, yeah, get into it. And that's my friend Krister. He lives in Umeå, Sweden. He's the guitarist, and I met Krister. I went on tour with the Lionheart Brothers, his band Soapbox, and a shoegaze band called Glory Box in the early 2000s. And so I met Krister on that tour. And Soapbox was on Samuel Durling for Mental Destruction's record label. I forget what it was called. And then Tooth and Nail licensed it. It was sort of like, refused style punk rock in the best way.
Very cool. Very cool.
So UFO over Lapland is not like that at all. But that is Krister.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that, and I think the vinyl, it's like a green vinyl, right?
It is
translucent.
Yeah. It's really nice. Cool. Yeah. And we printed those. There's a company that I do use from time to time called Got a Groove in Cleveland. Okay. They did the Appleseed Cast records, and actually since it was in Cleveland, I went to Matt Traxler's house, and we basically filled all the pre-orders like in his basement for a couple of days, hung out, got food, got drinks, and just the whole time kind of hanging out, making that happen. But yeah, got to see the record pressing plant. So that's one of the plants that I like to use, like really high quality, like American pressed vinyl.
Yeah, and there's only so many choices, right? Like I know that it seems like the choices have narrowed over history until we're left with just a couple options. And I know that vinyl is more popular than ever, but it seems like the wait times have gone up too. Like pre-orders used to be like a special thing, and now it's kind of like standard order. If you actually want to get a vinyl record, you're going to have to like buy it and wait for 6 months or something like that. What's your experience with supply and demand like that?
Yeah, so like really during COVID, it got pretty brutal. Like the Steve Taylor, like the Chicago Bear, like pressings. I want to say the Halcyon Days, we used a company that Luxury had used for 2 of their records, and they had quoted me like a turnaround time under 6 months, and it ended up being 14 months.
Which is a lot when you're expecting 6 months.
Yeah, and they're no longer in business, but they were pretty frustrating to deal with. Got a Groove had the 14-month wait times, and I probably should have just went with them because like I would have known what I signed up for. There have been vinyl pressing plants that popped up. Some of them have already kind of imploded because making vinyl is very labor intensive, and you have to pay a lot of attention to get it done right. So it can be pretty difficult. I've also been lately using a place in the Netherlands called Record Industry. And they did the luxury vinyl. I know Bill Spry from Lost in Ohio, he turned me on to them. They do extremely high quality work at a pretty reasonable price. And we have a friend over there named Lex who cuts the lacquers, and he does just a truly amazing job on the lacquer. So a lot of the Lost in Ohio records that you may have had, like Lex has cut, and they've been pressed at Record Industry. He did the luxury records as well. So, another place I like to use.
Very nice. Yeah. I picked up the Lost in Ohio. They did the Astronaut Pushers re-release of that little EP that they did.
They did.
That's a fun EP. Yeah, I just got that.
Oh, awesome. Yeah, I just met Bill in real life on Thursday night. My friend Will from Soperus, he had an art opening in Cincinnati, so we decided to just like get in the car and go to the art opening, and met Bill at the art opening and hung out after the show. So he gave me the vinyl for the new Aunt Betty's that he just finished, and then there's a new album from the Julies that he gave me as well. So.
Right,
really,
I saw that they were redoing that. Yeah, I always thought of the Julies as like Burnt Toast Vinyl adjacent. They weren't on, were they? They were somebody else.
They were not. So they played a bunch when I would have shows at Drexel. They played a few times, and they were on the early like live 7-inches.
Mm-hmm.
John from the Julies, he was in another band called Riviera, and we would have them play for a little while after. But the Julies didn't really stay together. And then they sort of reformed like during COVID and redo that original EP.
It's a good time to get bands back together. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And like the most recent album that they did it's incredible if you haven't heard it. And then like really good Britpop, and then the new record's even better. So, I think they're onto something really good.
That's great.
Hey, it's so interesting because I had not heard of the Julies, and then I got the Aunt Betty's re-release. And they included like a download of another album, and it was the Julies.
Yeah.
So I mean, and then I saw them in like 3 different Facebook groups. So I don't know if the algorithm is telling me I need to listen to this band, but I'm definitely gonna check it out this week because that sounds great.
Definitely, yeah, you need to listen to it. So before I did Burnt Toast Vinyl, when I was in college, I briefly was part of a label called Dwarf Records, and we did 2 compilations. And the Julies were on the second compilation called Sam.
Cool.
So yeah, that like in the early days. So that would be, one of my connections, I guess, to them as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely check them out. That's great.
I want to say maybe that got reissued onto like one of the Flying Tart like compilations, but yeah, the song that's on that Sam compilation. But yeah, I've been friends with those folks for a really long time. I had a girlfriend in college who was underage, and she had a fake ID. Primarily, I think, to go see the Julies play in bars. So we would go to almost all the shows where they played. So
phenomenal.
we would never drink, but we'd watch them play. So yeah, whatever.
It's all the age-based gatekeeping. Yeah. Did you Scott? Did you hear the podcast series about the dance ordinance in Washington State? There's a great little like podcast kind of docu-series about like how hard it was to go to a show in Seattle back in the 90s because like the teen dance ordinance was shutting everybody down. Like
again, then when they were starting up the Paradox, it was like the Velvet Elvis, like the like all ages clubs, they had some problems. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like they were like, oh no, the kids are going to be corrupted, and really it was like maybe it was well-meaning, but in most ways it was just like kind of making it impossible to do any sort of live music with kids. So
no, totally, no, that's great. That's great. Yeah.
Well, I'm curious, non-music question, because you said you ran an art gallery when you were talking about Purple Door. Is that right?
Yeah.
And then you went to an art installation. So how does that form of art fit into your life?
For Purple Door, it was really I saw a need and I was interested. So like my day job, I'm an engineer at a drug company, so I'm not any sort of like art person other than I like art in like from an album cover perspective or a packaging idea. I'm interested in art. I'm interested in things looking good. And I do know artists. So Will, who's in Soperus, he was in the band Saxon Shore, and actually one of the early bands on Burnt Toast Vinyl. He was in an emo band called Somerset. He and Matt Stone both. Then they were in Saxon Shore, and they have Soperus together. Will's a really interesting guy, a really good friend of mine, and at some point we ended up buying a letterpress machine together, and we were using it for a little while for vinyl lyric inserts, so we would letterpress them and include them. And we did some like limited edition run releases that were letterpress. So we did like Danny from Thalo has a band called Low Lumens, and we did like CD and cassette releases that were letterpressed for that. Then Will ended up doing, we ended up doing like a Soperus CD that was letterpressed. And then the most recent Soperus record has like kind of a letterpressed wrap around the vinyl jacket. And Will ended up submitting that and then getting nominated for a packaging Grammy. Cool. And so, yeah, we all went out as part of the party posse in 2022 to root for him to win a Grammy. He didn't win, but you know, it was exciting. So Will is like really interested in letterpressing, and he's been doing a lot more work with letterpress, and he's had a residency at a spot called Penland outside of Asheville the last couple of years. And he's been kind of expanding what he could do with letterpress. And one of the things that he's been doing is he's been using metal type spacers that are basically like flat, thin lines. And he's been bending them with magnets and doing multiple impressions to create these like kind of exotic art pieces. And two of those were what were in the art gallery.
Because letterpress is, I was trying to think of how to like explain it, but it's like adding texture to paper, right? It's the idea that you're taking something that would otherwise be flat and kind of giving it dimension.
Well, I think technically, or like maybe the legacy of letterpress, it would be like you would form like metal type on a bed, and then you would basically like roll the paper over the top of it and print using ink. Now, if you press down harder or you use paper that has like more of a compression, that's when you get that kind of impression.
Okay.
But, you know, I think like historically, like maybe like newspapers would have been printed on like a letterpress print.
Sure. So, yeah.
My great grandfather put out a book about the history of graphite in New York, and it was all on, each page was on letterpress. So a lot of newspapers would do the letterpress. I mean, that was early letterpress. That was the original letterpress.
Yeah, and you would like kind of hand set the type, and there were like spacers to kind of help you like kern it out the right way.
Right. So each word was all, you know, you get all the letters and you put them onto like some sort of a mold, and then it would crank that way. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually there are ways that you can get plastic forms made that have more complicated designs. So, for example, we did like a 7-inch series for Starflyer 59 of 10 different 7 inches. And those covers are letterpress and screen printed. And so Will did the design for those and then printed all of those as well. So that's his work. So that was like the Ghost of the Future Starflyer 7-inch box set.
Cool. Yeah, I was going to ask if that's the one it was.
Wow.
And then we also did like letterpress screen print. We did a 4-band double LP. So Foxhole, Soperus, Questions and Dialect, and the Magic Lantern, which is also Krister from UFO Over Lapland's like kind of post-rock instrumental band. We did like letterpress screen printed covers for that. Yeah, so like Will and I will like kind of scheme on artwork quite a lot. You know, I kind of come at it from a technical idea perspective, and he's more from the artistic perspective. So sometimes we'll come together and kind of have some ideas. But yeah, like Will is really kind of the genius in that space. And then maybe as a side note, Foxhole ended up getting nominated for a packaging Grammy in 2019 for the Well Kept Thing artwork. So Adam from Foxhole sort of designed this packaging that incidentally also used letterpress. And then we did like kind of crazy vinyl, red, white, and blue inside of clear vinyl, splatters for the vinyl. And then we did like letterpress inserts for that Adam designed and Will executed on his letterpress. So that ended up not winning, but we got nominated for that as well.
Still an honor to be nominated and deserved, I'm sure. Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah. Our good friend Steve, Steve Resner, who was the drummer for Saxon Shore, he was a recording engineer for a while at Juilliard in New York City, and he got nominated for a classical recording that he had done. And actually, found out about it when he read who won the Grammys and saw that it was a record that he worked on and that he won a Grammy. So he's our sort of Grammy-winning friend. And in fact, if you go to his house in Rochester for a party, for example, you might find yourself drinking beer out of his Grammy, which is
that's great.
Kind of a fun little exercise.
That's excellent.
Rochester, New York, or Massachusetts?
Rochester, New York.
All right, I'm on my way.
Isn't Josh in Rochester?
Yeah, my brother. I frequent out there. I used to work at a college out there, but my brother-in-law lives in Rochester. So yeah, I would love to drink beer out of his Grammy.
Nice. Yeah, during the eclipse last year, we went to Rochester for the eclipse, and we drank beer out of his Grammy. It was great.
Man, that's awesome.
Day.
Highly recommended.
That's a phenomenal day.
What's it like to go to LA for the whole Grammy ordeal? What was that experience like?
So I'll be honest, I only went to the after party with the Foxhole crew. I didn't go to the actual Grammy ceremony because it's actually pretty expensive unless you're nominated. So Adam from Foxhole, he went, and his wife, and then two other folks from Foxhole bought tickets to go, and I want to say the tickets are they're like $800 or $1,000 to go to the Grammys. Wow. Yeah.
Whoa.
And you don't even know if they're going to get the award, right? Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Right. So Will and his wife got to go for free to Soporus, or to the Grammys for the Soporus packaging. Matt went with him, and then. Actually, unfortunately, that label, I have worked with Matt and Will for like many records over their career. That record they put out on another record label, and so that record label person went to the Grammys.
Oh no! But you got the after party, which is where the fun is.
Yeah. So it's all fun. It's all fun.
Yeah.
I will say the after party that I went to with Foxhole, it was insane. It was like lots of nice food catered. They had these acrobats like hanging from the ceiling, and then I'm trying to think who actually played. It was like two different bands from the 90s, like R&B, like ended up playing. Was it In Vogue and
really? Wow.
What's the band that the one woman like burned down a house?
TLC, Left Eye.
TLC.
She burned down Andre Rison's house. Yeah.
Yes.
And for Missy, that's our first football reference.
That's right. Don't go chasing those waterfalls.
Or they'll get burned down.
I was surprised like how many of the songs I actually knew many of the words to. I wouldn't consider myself a fan. But
it was everywhere.
Yeah. It was awesome. Truly awesome. It was great.
Events where there are people kind of as like furniture or backdrop, like if you've got like, you know, trapeze artists or whatever that they just brought in like to create a vibe and ambiance like that. Yeah. That's an atmosphere I'm not familiar with, and I just don't spend time in those circles. It never occurs to me if I've like anytime I've ever got people together, I'm like, I'm going to have a cooler full of drinks so people can have like a beer when they get here. There's going to be music on. We're all going to be like on the porch or whatever. But I've never thought I'm going to go out and hire like some people to just like be here in costume hanging from the ceiling. I've never done that.
Maybe you could get people to like eat fire at your next party. That probably would go over.
Look, man, I'll come out and be a mime. I'll do it if you want it. I'm in the box.
Oh, no.
Oh, back to the Goaty Hook.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
This one's called The Box.
Brock, when you kept yelling out the box, oh, that was good. And then they finally played it. Yeah.
Love it.
I still don't have a good read. So at the Goaty Hook show, last April, I don't have a good read on whether they had planned to play the box or not. And I'd like to believe that maybe our encouragement had something to do with the fact that they ended up playing the box. Because we got like the whole thing. Plus, like more, I think. More than what?
They would have had
more
to
than Joel had prepared
that,
to.
Right?
You would think so, but I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I half want the mystery to be solved. I want to know the answer, and I almost half don't because I'd much rather think that we had something to do with it.
We'll get Adam back on. Yeah.
You had them on the podcast.
We've had Adam on.
It's been a while.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Adam was actually one of our first guests.
Have you seen the New York Times article about Brandon Ebel's house?
I have.
No.
No.
That is some glorious postmodern architecture, my friend.
Oh,
Right.
send it our way. Yeah. Jared, you're holding out.
Does he have aerial dancers in his ceiling?
He does not.
Okay. All right. Maybe he hires them though, like occasionally.
Yeah, it sort of looks like a superhero villain lair.
It does.
Imagine that. That's surprising to me.
Yeah, I don't really know Brandon, so I have no beef. But yeah,
Right. All right.
I'm drinking whiskey. I can talk trash.
My man, welcome. One of us.
I'll say nothing but nice things about Jim Worthen. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know Brandon Ebel.
I mean, you were asking about other highlights. I mean, we had Ethan Luck on. That was that was a big one for us.
Joby Harris from Crash Rickshaw.
Yep.
I like that new Crash Rickshaw record that Cloud put out. That was really nice.
Yeah.
Mike Almquist was big to me because I love Me Without You.
Oh
yeah, that was big.
Mike is great. He showed up at a party at my house. I wasn't expecting him, and it kind of derailed the whole thing. Where like I just want to talk to the guy the whole time.
Yeah.
We get into the minutia of all the details. Yeah. He like early on, when he was pressing 10 stories, we kind of, talked about vinyl pressing, and I kind of talked to him about the things that I knew and kind of, brought him up to speed. And, in some ways he was the student that has now way surpassed the master. And, a lot of it has to do with like the resources that are available. Like when you start pressing Me Without You records, people really want those.
Right.
And some of the records I've pressed, people want, but not to that extent. Like Me Without You is one of those unique special bands, and I think he's done a very good job protecting their legacy and making those releases just truly incredible. Like when you get those Me Without You albums, they're like perfect. They're awesome. No complaints.
Yeah. I love how he always does the printing on the inside of the sleeve. Like there's no point to that because you can't even see it all. Because you'd have to rip it open to get
it's
the
there.
full...
It's subliminally there.
Exactly.
You're like learning a foreign language while you fall asleep.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can see it when you put the record back in the sleeve, right? That's the thing. It's a dimension of the experience.
You said it, the minutia, yeah.
You could destroy the artwork to see the inside of it, and then now we're getting into new territory.
This is true.
That's some real like performance art stuff in terms of like there are people who like put together art installations, or they like do things where like to consume the art you do need to destroy the art, and that's like such a fascinating thing to me. I think about it because I've been collecting cassettes over the past however long, and I've got some that end up in my hands that just haven't been opened yet, and it's kind of like I think of it as like Schrodinger's cassette case of like does it still play? Does it not play? As long as it's wrapped, both can be true, And so,
totally.
Like figuring out, but like if I actually want to listen to it, like I have to open it. Yeah.
Do you know the band Mental Destruction? I think I referenced them earlier, but
I don't think so.
They're an industrial band from Sweden, early 90s, and Samuel Derling, he ran a record label that in Sweden, and he put out the Soapbox record that I mentioned, and he put out the first Extol records as well. But Mental Destruction was like a brutal industrial band, and they were on this label called Cold Meat Industry that is a whole mishmash of like, Mental Destruction were like the Christian outliers, but there were like druids and witches and Satanists and et cetera on the label, like legit, not just like
anyone that makes black
cosplay.
Metal.
Yeah, like legit, like, and this was like dark industrial, dark ambient kind of music. So sort of black metal adjacent, but not really metal. Anyhow, so Mental Destruction, they put out a 7-inch, and it is actually glued to a metal cog that has a cross cut into it, and so you can hear the A side, But in order to hear the B side, you have to pull it away from the cog and kind of clean up the record in order to hear it. So it's there, but you can't hear it.
Amazing.
Which I always thought was genius. And one of the bands on that record label is called Brighter Death Now. They put out like a multi LP set, and one of the LPs actually shows up encased in concrete. So you can have the art objects, or you can somehow figure out how to free the vinyl to hear it.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
yeah, that's when you start to get to like extreme. I don't know, extreme releases. One of the things that I've always wanted to do was to basically have an LP with an A side that's normal, and the B side, everything is basically like it's a 7-inch off in the corner. So in order to hear it, you have to drill your own hole and cut out.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But I've never done it. But that's one of my dreams. Like I know the label Joyful Noise has done records that have had multiple holes, and if you switch the holes, you hear different songs.
Different grooves, right?
Yeah,
Wow.
different grooves.
There have been a couple different pressings where like there are multiple bands, right, where they don't like intersect or whatever, but they're like coiled onto the record together. So like depending on where you drop the needle, you either get one song or you get the other song. I mean, both there, but like you only get to hear one if you don't disturb the needle. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I love that stuff. I love it.
I was just looking at there was I forget who it was. There was somebody like some like engineer slash sound artist or whatever who had done like was it intersecting loops of silence or something? And so like the only sound like it was two what would you call it? Occluding circles. And so you've got like two bands and there are two holes. And so it's been drilled for you. So not exactly what you're describing, but it made me think of that. But it's got like two loops that are just silent and it's not like a full record. It's just like two bands that the needle would go through. And the only sound it makes when you play it is the intersection of those two loops where they occlude. And so it's like a pop, 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 pop. And it's like, yeah, it's just like it's a thing. So uh, it makes me think of that sort of thing. I wish I could remember. I'm sure I could find the name, but I'll find that. Maybe we'll insert it later. Who knows?
Nice. I have always wanted to put out a record too where the inside of the LP jacket was sandpaper. So as you pull it out, it basically destroys your record. That'd
be amazing.
Yeah.
Like a cassette case that's like like a magnet is part of it, or like a magnet in the cassette shell. So like when you play it, it erases it. You only get to hear it once.
Oh yeah, totally.
That would be fantastic.
Great.
Wow.
Wow, it's like Snapchat.
Except the Snapchat of analog media. Yeah.
I was gonna say, is this where I try and get a hold of my old bandmates and see if I can get permission to have you do that?
Man.
Yes, absolutely.
So experimental.
You can have it for free. Just make this.
Scott, I also have I don't know if you have any of this from like either family history or stuff you found in thrift stores or antique shops or whatever, but like they used to have like record recording machine. I guess it was like a little home lathe setup, right? Where it was like a cardboard disc.
Yeah.
And you could record whatever was happening and it wasn't wax, I don't think, but like, it was like this this coating on the cardboard disc that would basically mold to the sound. Just like there's this Instagram reel going around where they put was it Notorious B.I.G. on like a wax cylinder, something like that. So same concept where you back in the 30s, 40s, you could take one of these machines home and you could record audio on it. So I've got my great grandma was a pianist, and my grandma was also a pianist, and then my great grandfather, who I never met, and my mom never met either. He died real young, but it's got him singing a couple things, and so like we've got all these different recordings from way back in the day. But I think there were 3-4 discs maybe that they recorded with their friends who had the machine, and one of them it's got masking tape on it and it says broken. but it's clearly not broken. Like
Oh,
it's
okay,
it's
okay.
someone just put masking tape on it, and I suspect it was like, I don't know, is there profanity on here? Is it
Okay.
tawdry material? Who knows? Like I don't know
Yeah.
what's on there.
Okay.
But I don't think I can remove the masking tape. It's one of those like, maybe my grandma put it on there, in the 80s or something. But it's been on there for 40 years now, and so
Oh,
now I
so you
don't
have to
know like.
figure out how to clean it in order to not
Can I
destroy
take the tape
it.
off and find out
Oh,
what's on this side of the record, or will it always be a mystery? And I suspect it will always be a mystery. But there was also
oh,
this fantastic like scientific thing where people were archiving old like 78 records with like a laser beam or something. Um,
oh,
and that sounded interesting to me. I doubt that I can hire their services. I feel like it's reserved for science or something.
right,
But
right.
yeah, I feel like there's probably a way, and I'll probably never actually hear it. So, have you
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
found any of those old discs, or do you have any from like your family's
I
history
don't
or
have any,
anything?
but I mean, it just reminds me of like when Damien Gerardo was kind of doing the like found sound recording releases.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
like he did that one on Adam Voice, like labeled TNI Books,
uh,
and it was basically all like thrift store answering machine cassettes, I think,
yeah,
or maybe when people
yeah.
sent cassettes in the mail, like letter cassettes, if you will, like
Yep.
conversation, people talking.
That was a great project because it was like audio postcards or something, and it was just like a
Yeah,
collection. Because some of them were like people leaving long voicemail messages, and some of
yeah,
them were just like like you said, love letters on cassette or something, and just like
totally.
little snippets of those as an album.
Yeah, and I remember when that came out, people would get really irritated that it wasn't like a Damien Gerardo record. But then I don't know,
He's not singing. Yeah,
I don't know.
he's not singing. He's thrifting.
No, definitely, definitely. And I think he would kind of use some of those samples in some of his other recordings too. Like it was
Mhm.
like one of his go-tos.
Yeah, yeah. Did Ghost of David have some of that on it? I was trying to remember.
Yeah, I feel like it did. I feel like it did. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Kevin, you've got that one, right?
Of course.
Of course you do. Kevin's a
Yeah.
Damien Gerardo completist.
Oh, nice, nice.
Kevin, did you buy like the new jacket
I did
that has
not.
the new album on it? Okay. Did you hear about this,
Wait,
Scott?
a jacket?
Yeah, so Damien decided to not make physical media because I think he was like he had some convictions
Yeah,
around.
because I got like the book he did for like Private Hospital. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. So the
Yeah.
book was one option. You get the book and then you get the digital files. You can listen to the record. You still own this
Yeah.
physical object. But one way
Yeah.
you could buy the record was there was like this, you could buy like a shirt or like a jacket
Oh,
situation. And it was
okay.
like custom painted or printed or screen printed or
Oh,
something like that. And so
okay.
you'd buy this
Okay.
jacket, you'd have the jacket you put in your closet, and then you would also have the record. So
Yeah, like he's out there in crazy land a little bit, but that record is freaking great.
It's so good.
like wow, you've kind of returned to us, Damien. Or he was doing those singles where they were about either serial killers or like government enemies that were like shot. Like there's the photo with the helicopter with the blood on it.
mm.
Like some of those one-offs like singles they're really good.
The only
Yeah.
ones for me are the wild ones, the ones that burn like Roman candles in the night.
To bring it full circle, right? Damien is the reason that I did a one-sided LP series. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did I tell you that when I met you in Pennsylvania? I feel like the four songs EP
oh
from Damien
yeah,
was pretty great, and it
it,
had at the end of the record it had an endless
yeah,
loop instead of a run out track. It
yes,
was just like it ends
yeah,
with this like ambient sort of tone. And
yeah,
if you let the record play and your record doesn't have like an auto carry or whatever, like it doesn't stop itself, you're just going to listen to that forever.
yeah. It just keeps going. It's so
It's
good. Yeah,
pretty
we
great.
that out. Yeah.
Yeah. Technical question. How do you get your record presser to do that?
So that was special. So there's you have to go to the right mastering person that knows what you want, and you have to time it. So there's a certain time interval that they gave. For a long time, I used a place. I want to say it was in Colorado called the Aardvark Mastering, and it was a guy's sort
Okay.
of hobby, and he would cut lacquers. His claim to fame is that he cut the lacquers for the first Godspeed You Black Emperor record, and they had a lot of problems finding someone that could cut it, and he was the one that did it, and that's kind of how I found out about him existing. And so I used him for a really long time. To be honest, like, yeah, did a wonderful job. And he did the 4 songs, and we had everything timed out to have the endless loop. So
That's great. That's great.
high quality, like old school, like lacquer mastering engineer, which that's sort of a limited specialty. So yeah, really, really nice.
I'm actually going to have to drop off right now.
Oh.
My daughter's sick and she's kind of quarantining in the podcasting area.
Oh, terrible. Sorry to
So
hear.
she's trying to sleep at this point. But thank you so much. This was awesome, and I look forward to hearing like the rest of the conversation when I start editing. So
Well, yeah, nice talking to you. Yeah, have a great night.
yeah, you too. Make sure you talk about the Stryper wine before you wrap up, though.
Oh, we will.
Yeah, we need one more callback to that.
One more time.
All right,
we will.
cool.
We will. We'll do
Wine
it.
talk.
For you, Kevin,
All right.
we'll do it.
Excellent.
Tell Megan to feel better.
Not now, but later.
All right. Thanks a lot. I'll see you guys later.
See you, Kevin.
See you, bro.
Bye.
Bye.
I'm glad we got to Damien before Kevin had to go.
Yeah.
Right.
And Megan is our she does all of our intros for our shows. So get better soon. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yeah. No, totally.
I feel like I've got 1,000 more technical questions. Yeah, I feel I'm like let's talk about what. Here's one, Scott. You asked. I'm curious how you feel about like lathe cut projects, because like as a label, lathe is kind of expensive and not very efficient if you're doing something at quantity. But like, are you a lathe cut fan? Do you have any that you like?
I think it's interesting as a concept. Like I know Joyful Noise they do a lot of lathe cut, like one-off releases. Like I want to say like I have some Christmas 7-inches that they cut that were snowflakes. That are like lathe cuts, like snowflake 7-inches. My good friend Chad, he records as Emperor X, and he and my friend Emmy from Bar None Records, they have 2 lathe cutters that they just got maybe like a year ago, and I know they've been doing some lathe cut Emperor X 7-inches. And I went to go visit maybe a year ago, and they were cutting some like one-off like burnt toast vinyl 7-inches just to kind of play around with it, and it was a lot of fun. I would say it's an interesting idea to kind of put something on, something similar to vinyl, but like for like a serious release, maybe not the best. Also, if you're like a little bit lo-fi, like. Like if Damien did lathe cut 7-inches, that would be great. Or like Emperor X is like a little bit like lo-fi, like indie rock stuff, like that totally fits. But if you wanted to do like Sigur Rós like lathe cut vinyl, that's probably a bad idea.
Like precise, really like detail oriented music where like it has to kind of be clean and all that. Yeah.
Actually, one of the first lathe cut things I got was like an Octagrape 7-inch. So that was Glenn from Soul Junk's like new rock band.
Oh, interesting.
You've not heard Octagrape?
I hadn't heard about it. No. When was that?
Oh man. So we did a one-sided LP for Sounds Familiar. We did like another EP that's all covers, and then we did a double record called Oral Obelisk that it's freaking fantastic.
That's a great name.
So good.
Yeah. Awesome, because I followed Soul Junk. I think I discovered Soul Junk because of 5 Minute Walk, because they had one record on there.
Yeah.
And gosh, I think a lot of record labels were doing like, especially if they were like hip hop or hip hop adjacent, they were doing a lot of 12-inch records back around that era, like around like late 90s, early 2000s. Because I feel like all the goatee rappers had one, Grits had one, but yeah, Soul Junk. I think the 1956 album never got like a full album release as vinyl, but they did have like like 3 songs, and like one side was instrumental, one side was full version or whatever. But then like after 56, he went even crazier than he had been, right? Of like just 1957 was like truly like unhinged hip hop, just like no context hip hop. Like it sounds like hip hop, but I don't know what to call this,
No, totally.
I have that on vinyl. I'm not sure who he went through for that, but I remember that one I liked because the record, it sounded super weird, but then like the sleeve was a collage. It was like some old gospel record, where he got like, got the sleeve for like
Okay.
free or whatever,
Yeah.
or like, 25 cents or whatever, and like
Oh, I,
covered it with cloth and collage stuff from magazines or whatever. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure each one was probably very unique. Mine has like a kid with a firefighter's hat on it or whatever. So,
Oh, totally.
um, yeah, very, very cool. But yeah, that's I haven't followed him recently, and so
Oh
I
man.
didn't know. So Octagrape is the project,
Yeah. I mean, it is so good. I got to
not
see them play
oscilloscope. Octagrape. Yeah.
Octagrave. There's four gentlemen. It does not refer to their testicles, though I did ask that
hmm
question.
I mean, you could see how it might. Yeah, it would make sense.
Yeah. But yeah, I was visiting friends in LA and we went down to San Diego to stay with Glenn and we saw an Octagrape show. And then they were on tour and they played in Philadelphia. Just incredible live band. I mean, Glenn's an older gentleman and he was like jumping off of his amp. I mean, it was great. Like really, really good.
Hmm.
There's a video where they kind of remake, the Beatles playing on top of a building. You can look at it on YouTube, and it's one of the songs that we did on the one-sided LP. It's super catchy, like really energetic, like garage rock. Yeah, it's really good.
That's fascinating, and I feel like I mean he was known like kind of before the hip hop era. I think he got the widest exposure with the 5 Minute Walk stuff probably, but he was
Right.
probably known best for his like array of guitar pedals because like if you went to a Soul Junk show, it was going to be Glenn and his guitar and like 50 or 60 pedals all chained together and
Yep.
whatever else was around. But yeah,
Yeah, again, one of the nicest human beings you'll ever meet. But yeah, Soul Junk it's so experimental, like in all different ways. It's like noise rock experimental, like taking what he was doing in Truman's Water into like the early Soul Junk records, and then the experimental hip hop stuff. I mean, it's so heady and weird that I don't know what to make of it. It's probably something worth like going back to revisit. But yeah, super super interesting. And then the Octagrape stuff kind of is more like mid-career Soul Junk stuff,
Mm.
but like maybe a little bit more like garage rocky.
yeah, kind of like 1953, 54 in that era.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Really happy to see those come out on Sounds Familiar. The band didn't really last long enough, I think, to like make an impact. But I think that's a band that could have gone places. Like it got really good
yeah.
reviews, and the right people were kind of talking about it.
And so that's not happening anymore either. Like it's done.
No, and then he had like another band after that was a little more. They added a keyboard player, and it was kind of in the same vein. And I think they did one record. Maybe there's a second record, and I'm forgetting the name. I'd have to look it up. But
Okay. Yeah. Well, we'll have to, honestly, we should reach out to him. I feel like he's a guy that,
oh
we'd love to
yeah,
shine a spotlight on and figure out kind of,
oh he's fascinating. Yeah, he's great.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, thank you. That's on my list of things to check out when we're done.
No,
When
no,
we
awesome.
hang up,
Yeah,
Octagrape is going in my ears.
I wrote that down for sure.
Thanks, Pete. Thanks for writing it down.
I got you.
nice. There was a short period where Dan was really trying to like jumpstart Sounds Familiar again, and we ended up doing a handful of records, and that like we did 3 Octagrape releases. There's a Norwegian guy named Jørn that we did. That's sort of like I don't know. It's like 60s, 70s, like maybe Larry Norman-ish kind
Hmm.
of pop songs. Really, really catchy songs, but there's definitely like kind of a retro vibe to it. There's a band from New Jersey called Ortolan that we did a record for. But yeah, there's like a stretch where we were trying to kind of get everything to happen, and then there was the Danielson record that he did, like the EP that he did on Sounds Familiar.
Hmm.
I was because Caleb from the Album Anniversary podcast covered the Wow to the Deadness record. I think
Oh
that
yeah,
came
yeah,
out today.
yeah.
And I was thinking about how many different places Danielson has been. in like Daniel in his various forms and various bands and whatnot. Like just yeah, and this happens to a lot of artists, right? Where like they're part of a record label and like they get their start, say they start on Tooth and Nail, but then they move to something else or they become independent or whatever. But it seems like Dan's been just a lot of places.
No, totally. Yeah, no, Dan is great, and yeah, I don't see him all that often, but yeah, when we do, it's always great to see him, and I'm glad to see him kind of still working on music, and he's the artist in residence right now at Joyful Noise, and you can subscribe like
Is he?
his.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and so that's actually a good example of the lathe cut 7 inches. So you could
Yeah.
subscribe to like the lathe cut 7 inches, and you would get like a 7 inch like every other month or something like that. So like
Yeah.
I think I'm up to date now with my 7 inches, but the idea was he would do like 12 or 15 lathe cut 7 inches and basically work on a new record. Kind of similar to the Starflyer box set idea. Like
Yeah.
you do these like kind of demos, and then at the end you go back and now you have the baseline tracks to kind of build an album out of it.
Right.
Yeah. Or like the Bazan subscription series, like
Yeah.
he had that whole series of 7 inches as
Yeah.
well.
Totally. He stole that idea from Starflyer though.
There you go. Yes, yes. I mean, respect and credit where credit is due, for sure.
Right.
That's
Here,
okay.
I got another question for you about Starflyer.
Yeah.
Just about because we've got a group text going. The great thing about having a podcast is that you end up having like 7 or 8 group texts. We've got all these people that have been guests on the show or whatever. So I forget which
Crazy.
group this happened in, but we were talking about was it hidden tracks, right? And whether or not hidden tracks are good, bad, otherwise, like whether you like them, whether you don't like them. But on the Everybody Makes Mistakes record, my first Burnt Toast vinyl release or at least collab, was it on Burnt Toast vinyl? Because it was also Tooth and Nail at that time.
Yeah, it was on Tooth and Nail, and like we did the vinyl version, and then
Okay.
it's
vinyl
in the
version
era
was,
where nobody wants vinyl, so you have to put additional tracks on it. So we had
Right.
the bonus set just for that and the fashion.
Just to get it to sell. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
The question that I had was on Everybody Makes Mistakes. That record has a hidden track, and the whole record is pretty short. Like if you count like all the songs without the hidden track, it's like what it would 30 minutes or something. But I remember, and I haven't gone back to compare. If I was really fastidious and I'd done my homework, I would have like recorded both, analyzed the waveforms, lined them up next to each other. I don't know if there's as much silence on the LP as there was on the CD. But there's like spoilers for anybody who hasn't heard Everybody Makes Mistakes. Spoilers. You've got this song that closes the record called "The Party," and it's like this really down tempo, like really relaxed kind of the kickback number. Like it's a really really beautiful track, but like just super slow, super quiet, super down tempo. And then like if you play the record and let the CD spinning, like you just walk away, like that was a great record. It's like 8 minutes later you get like the same song, but it's an instrumental version, and like some unknown saxophonist is crooning through his instrument into the microphone.
Whoa.
And, it's this beautiful like instrumental version with this really like free jazz solo happening. So when I got the record, the record had the same, like it had a very very long period of silence, except if you're a record fan and you're used to looking at vinyl, you can see where the grooves are. There's something there.
Yeah.
So the record had a hidden track, and it had like a long amount of silence, so that this hidden track, was in fact, if not hidden from sight, when you look at the grooves, at the very least, like if you let it play, you're going to forget it's playing, and at some point you're going to hear a saxophone. So in terms of putting that together, did you have any involvement in that? I'm assuming the hidden track like that showed up probably before you got involved, but you were there when it got pressed to vinyl with a bunch of silence on the second side.
So Cloud, he uses Richard Simpson to cut most of his lacquers. So all the Velvet Blue 7 inches Richard has done, and in fact, one of the times that I visited Cloud, like in the late '90s, we would have gone to like have Richard cut some 7 inches. So I think I was there when we picked up the fashion focused test pressings from the record plant that he was using. There was a plant in California called Bill Smith that Cloud would use a lot. Unfortunately, that got bought by United, and it's no longer a functioning plant.
Boo, but like United,
really high quality, low numbers that they would press there. So it was like kind of a smaller hidden gem, if you will,
a specialty plant.
So yeah, specialty plant. And Cloud used them for a long time, and he would have Richard Simpson cut all of the lacquers. So Cloud was the one that coordinated the fashion focus and Everybody Makes Mistakes lacquers that Richard Simpson would have. So I would have been more like, I'm writing the check and I'm like, I think I did the layout for the LPs, but Cloud kind of coordinated like the production, and we did it all in California.
Gotcha. Okay. So we have Cloud to thank for a hidden track on a vinyl record.
No, totally. And I'm sure they schemed out how to do that. And Richard is like an old school guy, and he would know how to do it. He's currently the in-house mastering person at Erica Records, which is like another LA area plant. And you can also have Richard cut lacquers as well. I want to say for the Octagrape records, we had Richard cut all of those lacquers. And I want to say I think that maybe Glenn attended one of the sessions. So sometimes when you have lacquers cut, you can kind of go to, watch them being cut, and you can, have input and say like, make this one a little louder, or this one a little quieter, or, whatever your mastering notes are, you can kind of give them to the guy. So it's a little unusual, but occasionally you can be present when they cut a lacquer.
Seems like a historic event.
It's a kind of a big deal. And I've maybe only been to like the lacquer cutting session like 3 or 4 times ever in my life.
I was going to ask, right?
Even though I've done many, many records. Yeah, it's unusual.
Because you wouldn't have a job there. You'd just be observing.
Yeah, you'd just be like kind of hanging out. And so sometimes it's fun to do. I know I did a one-sided LP with Emperor X, and I know he went to the lacquer mastering session and, watched the guy kind of cut it, like worked it all out.
Very cool.
A little bit unusual.
Yeah.
I think I answered your question.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, I
crushed it.
I was just so curious about all that. Yeah.
No, totally. Yeah, it's definitely something you can see. I'm sure there are like videos on the internet for that happening, but yeah. I was in the Netherlands when Record Industry was like hosting like a vinyl festival, and so I toured the facility, and then Lex, who cuts lacquers in the Netherlands, he actually had moved his lacquer cutting machine in-house to Record Industry, and so like I met him in person, and he recut one of the luxury album sides just to kind of show me how it was done.
That's great.
And then, like we toured the pressing plant. So like if you've never seen like records getting pressed, like there's definitely videos online, but it's definitely like a really cool thing to see.
I'm addicted to those videos where they show all of the like custom ones. Yeah.
Yeah, like I saw them making vinyl at Bill Smith in California, and then Got a Groove in Cleveland, and then there was a place we used in Harrisonburg, Virginia called Blue Sprocket that's no longer with us, that Matt Tractor and I used for a few releases, and I saw them press some vinyl there as well. And then Record Industry in the Netherlands. But there's not a lot of places.
For sure. Yeah. So one of the reasons I asked about lathe is that I've had a little bit of experience, not cutting. I would love to learn how to cut a lathe myself.
Oh, yeah.
But just I haven't had the opportunity yet. But I've had a couple of of friends, for example, who have made records, and I'm like, I would love to have this, on LP. And it's just like there's not a lot of ways. But
now one of the things that you can do is you can actually get an acetate cut, which is like a professional lathe cut one-off.
Mm-hmm. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So sometimes when you're going to have someone cut a lacquer and it's a really big deal, you can have them cut an acetate. And so they basically like cut that with all of the settings that they use for the lacquer, and then you can listen to it as sort of a test cut.
Totally.
That's how, like, if you're Pearl Jam, you would get that made, right? Like, something like important like that.
Yeah. So I worked with there's a production house in Portland, Oregon called Vinyl on Demand, and
Oh, okay.
they've done some really good lathe work. I've had two different bands that I've been in and worked with some guy to do it. Some guy, I say some guy because it wasn't very good.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
lathe is very variable in quality depending on who does it, what they know about it, how good they
Yeah.
are at it, that sort of thing. And I feel like both of the records, they're not terrible. Like you put them on, it's my band, you can hear it, like it's fine.
Yeah.
But it kind of sound like in one case I remember it kind of sounds like it's coming out of a tin can, like it's just not very quality, you know. And so I'm kind of like, I know that it can be done. You can hire some guy and you get a shitty lathe. But I forget what it was. There was this place in Portland, and I was like, it's
Yeah.
local, it's close. I'll try it out. It had like a 7-inch cut or whatever. And it came back sounding like the best thing in the world. Like it was just so good. And it's probably
Okay.
like what you're describing. Like it might be closer
Yeah.
to an acetate cut. Um,
Yeah.
but just in terms of the quality, like it was cool. And so I was like, I've got all these artists that I love, and I would love to put something together. And so just reaching out to folks, and I started with a close friend who had done some music, and I loved it, and I knew it was never going to come out. Like he was never going to put it on vinyl, and so I was like, let's just do two of these. Let's just put this together. And
Yeah.
so, from the start, from the top to the bottom of let's get the record there, and then let's put together the artwork, let's do the prints, let's design the labels, that sort of thing. Like it's all so much fun. And then in the case of this, the lathe cutter that I was using, they did jackets and records, but they didn't do inserts or anything. So that was me, like going to FedEx office and saying, "Here,
Sure.
print this on your big poster size paper, and I'll cut it into a square."
Yeah.
And that sort of thing. It reminded me of like, making handbills back in, back when it
Sure.
was Kinko's in the 90s.
Sure. Sure.
But just from top to bottom, like it was so much fun to me to see all the parts come together. And I've got to imagine that's got to be what you get to do all the time is just taking these things and making them come to life. Are there pieces of that process that nobody would know that you really enjoy?
I mean, I think you just described all the parts. I will say this: I've had enough issues with test pressings that's a really stressful time listening to a test pressing.
Right.
Like playing it, and then also like kind of knowing what to listen for, right? Because like no vinyl record is going to be pristine, and this is actually a problem that I have sometimes with customer support.
Hmm.
Yep.
Your vinyl record is not going to sound like a CD. That's not the point of it. If you're that anal retentive, you should just listen digitally or get
They do
CDs.
make CDs, right?
Yeah. But if you expect some of that quality to come across in LP, you're going to get crackles. It's just the nature of it. My job is to listen to make sure that there's no actual like problems where there's like a big pop that's consistent through all of the records, which we have had. The Exquisite Death of Saxon Shore was notorious. We cut
Oh
that
man.
record 4 times. 3 of the times had like just brutal pops in it, and it turned out that it was the lacquer master going to the plating plant. There
Mm.
was some kind of problem in mixing those two things. When I had a different lacquer cut and had it plated in house at United, the problem went away. So, just
Say
that
what you will
stress,
about
like,
their airline, they're good at pressing.
yes, exactly. And United is like a really long running record pressing plant, and there's definitely a heyday of United. I haven't used them in a long time because the woman that I was like was my customer liaison either doesn't answer my calls or doesn't work there anymore, and
Yeah,
like
or
that
both.
continuity is gone. But like there's a heyday where like Jack White is pressing
Hmm.
his
Right.
his records there, and like they have like really high quality pressing happening. And I'm not sure that's the current state of affairs over there at United. I've not pressed since then, but I've definitely had some difficulties kind of getting my old plates and old records repressed there.
Okay. Sorry to hear it. That's it's rough to have something that was good and worked well, and then just wasn't or didn't stick around. I guess at least in the same version that it was.
Yeah, it is frustrating. Like it used to be like in the 2000s and even into the 2010s. Like if I needed a repress of a record, I would just call Beth up and say like, "Oh, I need 300 more of these." And yeah, 6 weeks later they would just show up and I would pay
You
her.
got them. Yeah.
Wow.
And that is not how it works now.
Yep.
Yep.
Well,
So
and Jared and Pete, are you guys familiar with kind of the process, like what he was describing just a minute ago, of when it goes from the lacquer to was it the press you said, Scott, or the like figuring out how to translate one cut into pressing of several
yeah,
hundred?
so what happens is like you will get an engineer to cut the lacquer, and the lacquer is sort of like a sticky material on a metal plate, and you send it to a place quickly, like overnight or 2-day mail, and they will actually plate it in like a bath of like metal and solvents and anodes and cathodes and like this like very old school process to kind of basically plate your lacquer. And then from that plate, they would make a reverse image stamper. And that's what they use to basically press your vinyl record. So that lacquer becomes what they call the mother, and then you can make as many stampers as you want from that mother.
Right.
It's like
instead of
kombucha.
stampers, I'm sorry.
Exactly.
It's like kombucha. You have a mother, and then you
There you
have
go.
the product after that. Yeah.
You can make as much as you want once you have the mother. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. And the stampers are good for 500 records, but occasionally the stampers will break. So,
Okay.
sometimes there's a delay. Like if you only make 500 records, they may have to make another stamper. Or if you kind of keep reordering, then they have to keep making like new stampers. So for a while, when I was helping Dan run Sounds Familiar Records, we were repressing copies of Seven Swans because that thing sold like hotcakes. And so,
Yeah.
we'd have to get new stampers made, or the stampers would break, or we're ordering like 2,000 copies at a time. Like this is big. These are big numbers. Where some of the other records I've done are, you do a run of 300 and I have them for 10 years. Sufjan, you're doing 2,000 records and selling out of them in 6 months.
Right. Sufjan especially, right?
That's popularity. That's success.
Yeah, exactly. So it's great. It's great.
Yeah. I know that among people who talk like audiophiles, people who talk about records and whatnot, there is this like hot stamper theory. The idea that like the earlier pressings or like the earlier, like what, I guess when you put it through, like they're better if it's a lower number. Like if you're getting record number 1 or number 3, it sounds better than record number 200 or something.
Yeah, and there are definitely people that like collect test pressings, and so like a test pressing would be like the first 10 to 25 copies that are used with those stampers, and they're usually done on a special like test pressing record press. And so like the technique is very kind of controlled, and the idea is like the test press should be like the sort of the perfect ideal version of using those stampers.
Right.
Yeah.
So there are definitely people that like collect those, and so at some point I started, instead of just doing 5 of them, which was like kind of the low minimum normally that you would do, you would do 25 of them, and you could sell the test pressings
Kind of as a collector's item, and certainly like at a premium because it's like more special than your standard.
Yeah, and like the Me Without You records, like people really wanted those test pressings, those kinds of things.
Right.
Jared.
And there's something to be said where if you use a stamper too long, definitely the quality will diminish, and your record plant should notice it and tell you to like reorder stampers.
Okay.
And if you have the right factory, they should be checking every copy, like they should visually check it, and then you should have someone that's going to listen. I want to say like Record Industry Listen and Got a Groove. They listen to like multiple versions of the record that's pressed, they won't necessarily listen to it the whole way through. They'll listen to it on the outer edge and the inner edge just to make sure everything is kind of consistent, because that's where the warping tends to happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me, just thinking of like warping and stuff. So the band Keen, the keyboard based kind of British, like Coldplay adjacent sort of band.
Somewhere only we know.
They did a limited run of 7-inch records. That second record, the lead single was "Is It Any Wonder." It's a great song. I really enjoyed it. But I bought a copy of that one, and when I put it on the record. When I put it on the record player and I listened to it, it had this warble, and I was like, "Is this a warped record? This is so weird." And what I found out eventually, like for years, I didn't look too closely into it. I was like, someday I'm gonna put it under a dictionary or something, flatten it out, make it sound better or whatever. But I realized that it had been flat the whole time, and the problem was that the stamper was slightly off center, and so the hole was in the center of the record, but the grooves went. They didn't go completely perfectly circularly around the hole, and so that's why it was kind of this. Is it any wonder this was? It was kind of speeding up and slowing down, and this really weird warble.
Wonder we tried. Right.
So I haven't yet purchased other copies of it to find out, like, is this a one-off problem? Like, do the other ones sound great, or is this like a problem that everybody got, and they were like, they paid way too much for it in 2006, and they're not willing to eat crow and go get like a new copy of something else. I don't know. But that was a really weird experience for me. I would imagine that's just one of the things that can go wrong in the production problem or process, rather.
No, definitely. That's something they should have caught. And as far as I know, I haven't seen that happen. I will occasionally have, like, sometimes people will return a record, right? Like I'm interested to like understand what the problem is, right? And strange things have happened. Like labels get glued on in strange ways. There's definitely some like oddities that happen with pressing records.
Yeah, I remember at least once having like multiple labels affixed to one side,
Sure.
Really?
Sure.
Yeah. Making records is a funny business.
No, it can be stressful. And sometimes, Me Without You especially, I feel like that's a kind of band that people were buying record players, and Me Without You was like the first record that they would get. And so like I would have a lot of emails where I'm basically walking through someone to tell them how to set up their turntable. Like they'll say things like, "Yeah, I put the needle down and it just skips across the whole record." Well, that's because your turntable's not set up. It's not because like the pressing is bad.
Have you tried turning it off and turning it back on again?
Yeah. So like going through that experience over email is like really frustrating. I've definitely had some like really angry people where they would send me the record that they were sure didn't work, and then I would play it on my turntable perfectly. So, it's not the record.
Yeah.
And, it's hard to teach someone that like they need to like set up their, turntable a different way. One of the ways is like, put like, a dime on the, turntable head, and, maybe then your record won't skip. And if that's the issue, you just need to like kind of adjust the weights.
Right. But like you don't want the dime or the quarter to be there forever, because you're gonna like ruin your needle, you're gonna ruin your records, like all that sort of thing.
But it's a way to test things. But a lot of times people would get like a thrift store turntable, or they would get like a Crosley, which you can make work.
Not the best, right?
But not the best, and so like you might have some problems. Yeah.
Yep.
And so it's hard to kind of have that conversation. But yeah, I would say like Me Without You customers had those problems more than others, but it wasn't the pressing.
At least Jared's one of the smart ones, right? Like Jared's not the one that
Let's
said,
hope
"Hey,
so.
my record player doesn't work." Jared, did you have a turntable before you got the Me Without You records?
I did.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
So you were kind of broken in, you kind of knew how it worked.
I think so. I have not sent anything back or any emails asking for help. So that's got to be a good sign, right?
No, that's good. That's good.
Other than not knowing to throw away the paper insert, which Mike taught me while we talked to him.
Oh yeah, because he has like a whole setup where he ships the insert separate, Yeah.
Yeah, for like sustainability. Like it was a good reason, but it would come
Yeah.
in a paper sleeve and then there's like an actual
No,
printed
keep it,
insert.
bro.
And it was like, what do I do with all this? Because it does not fit inside the jacket.
You keep
Like,
it all, and you
Totally.
well,
push harder until it finally fits in.
No, if you're like
use,
me, you keep it all, you push harder. Exactly.
yeah, that's apparently the wrong answer, according to Mike.
I've got a more rigid stake in the situation. I will not do printed sleeves because they tear through. So instead, what I would do would be like a folded insert that's printed, so you could wrap it around the record, but you don't put the record inside.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like that.
Or you could put
Yeah,
it next to the record because like you
yeah,
put the record into a brand new poly sleeve, right? You took it out of the paper and like
yes,
wrapped it in
poly
archival
sleeve.
plastic or something.
Exactly. That's a big deal. Like, yeah, those nice like archival like polyline sleeves are really nice. Yeah.
I realized I had a problem when I was buying more packaging for the records I owned that already had packaging. That was when I knew it was that was when I knew I was in too deep.
We're here for you. We hear you.
I will say this. So my friend Matt Stone, who's in Sopris, was in Saxon Shore. He has taken all plastic covers off of his records. So he
Mm.
has no shrink wrap. He has no poly sleeves. It's just all bare naked LP covers. And if they get bent, they get bent. It's the way the universe intended them to
It's the way
be.
of the world, exactly.
And like, forget your like mint, near mint on Discogs. I'm just playing my record.
They ship as good or good plus.
Exactly. Raw dog in the whole shelf.
Well, the most frustrating thing is when the packaging is so thick you can't fit it in the poly sleeve, or it's like you got to get the perfect like exactly level to just barely like slide it down a centimeter at a time to make it just fit in there without
Yep.
ripping the seams. Yeah, that
Yeah.
drives me crazy.
Well, depending on what kind of Scott, you're going to tell me if I'm a bad person or not, because I always take anytime I get a record, you get the record, it's shipped, whether it's shipped in shrink wrap or not. When you get the record, it's going to be it's not packaged so that you can like just slide it right out of the sleeve. Like you're going to have to
Right.
take the insert out, whether it's just like a
Yeah.
paper sleeve or whatever it's in. And then you can remove the record. But whenever I buy a new record, I always take whatever the record is inside of, whether it's the printed inner or the paper sleeve or whatever, and I rotate it 90 degrees so I can
Oh,
just
so it like
roll it right
slides.
out of the side. Exactly
Nice.
right. Am I a bad person?
No, you're doing what you want to do. That's fine.
I'm with
Um,
you, Brock. It's cuts out a big step, right? Of like pulling that sleeve out to pull it out to set it down to put it back in.
Live your best
Cuts
life,
out,
man.
yeah, cuts out a
Yeah.
step. I do the same.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me because I think that, and matter of fact, you look at the way some printed inners are printed, and some of them are very clearly designed, just with the orientation of the text and the
Yeah,
images and
you
everything.
can't turn
Like
it.
this
Yeah.
is designed to be pulled out to look at, and then you pull the record out.
right.
Whereas a few others that I've seen, like they are very intentionally designed so you can slide the record right out of them. And so some of it has to do with the intent of whoever, designed the package. Sometimes that's the artist, sometimes it's whoever was managing and putting the stuff together. But yeah, oftentimes I find that for me to have quick and easy access to my records because I'm already also pulling them out of an outer plastic sleeve,
Yep.
that I want them to just roll right out of the package.
I hate an inner printed sleeve.
Mm.
Often it's on like the thin, like glossy paper that tears if you just look at it. I don't like
Yeah.
that. And then the record sticks. It feels like you're scratching the record as you're pulling it out. And then the absolute
Mhm.
worst is the inner like cardboard sleeve. What the hell are you doing, man?
Yeah. Cardboard. Fuck that.
No,
Yeah.
not here for. Might as well line that thing with sandpaper and do the experimental boys right.
I was going to say, like, would you do printed inners if you could, like, put the inside of the printed inner onto sandpaper? Like, would
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So like, I try my best to steer bands away from having printed inner sleeves. I I don't know that we've done any But yeah, maybe we have. I can't remember.
That's because you have integrity, Scott. It's because you have integrity.
I try to think about these things.
Yeah, there's so much like I mean, I feel like, obviously we all love this music because of the music, right? There's like
Yeah,
things
yeah,
that are like essential to the music and the lyrics that we love. But to me, it's so fascinating that there are so many layers to like the actual physical product. And
totally.
it's a non-zero component, right? Like it's a big piece of why people love records, not just because like some people will say they sound better because they're analog. They don't have that, sawtooth digital edge or whatever. But I can't hear that. I think oftentimes if I'm listening and I'm listening purely for like audio fidelity reasons, I prefer the digital version. But like,
Totally.
I just want to have a thing to hold. I want something that's 12 inches
Yeah,
by 12 inches that folds out, that has like lyrics in it, that has some sort of
Right?
essay on the back. Like, that's what I'm interested in, And I think it's just so fascinating that like that's all part of the experience.
totally. No, I agree. I agree.
And it's just cooler than a CD or a tape. Like
No, totally, totally.
it just kind of boils down to that, right? Like it's cooler to hold a full record and pull it out than it is to pull a CD out of a jewel case or a cassette out of the folder. Like
No, definitely, definitely.
I'm with you, Brock. I like to because it's the same thing. I don't like to read digital books. I want a book if I'm going to read. I can't stand reading digitally, even though it's the same thing. But I think with the record, it just feels more
You hold
substantial
it.
if you're,
Right. You hold it
yeah,
in your hands.
Yeah.
like
There is a heyday of the CD. I mean, when you opened up the jewel case the first time for Starflyer Silver, that booklet, it's impressive. It's
Right.
really nice.
Yeah.
true.
Designed to
Yeah,
be an experience. Yeah.
yeah,
Even though the
yeah,
cover was just silver.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, like that's magical. Like when you have like the deluxe CD booklet.
Right.
Yeah, so there's definitely an era where that's like kind of a cool go-to. But yeah, and then it becomes really expensive to do that with LPs. And unless you're a band like Me Without You, it makes it hard to do that.
Right.
Right.
There's not like an affordably viable way forward.
Yeah, yeah, no, totally, totally. There's some limitations.
Yeah. I remember it was it today or yesterday that the Moms Like Us Too compilation from
Oh,
Tooth and Nail and
great
BEC.
album. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
that was just a sampler, right? It was like
Sure.
199, 299, something like that. But that has a liner that, obviously the whole goal of that was promotional. It was to get you to buy the full length records that the sampler songs were from.
Yeah.
But like that had like a 20-page booklet with pictures of the bands and like,
Oh
descriptions of the
yeah.
records and that sort of thing, like
Sure.
that was a really big like I think it was effective for me. I know that I bought that sampler and then I bought a bunch of records after that. So
Nice. There you go.
yeah,
Yeah. And now Brandon Ebel has that mansion.
yes, he does with aerial dancers hanging from the ceiling,
That's right.
24/7, no doubt, 24/7.
But is he drinking
I will not
Stryper?
live in this house without someone hanging from a drape somewhere.
That's your goal when you're a millionaire to hire that person.
Absolutely, yep. It'd be like the guy in the Boston's that just dances. Hey, Scott, how do you feel about cassettes? You've got a few for sale in your store.
Yeah, I like to play cassettes. And there was like a little bit of a resurgence for the cassettes, but
Is it over?
cassettes are frustrating.
They are.
Um, I think it's very genre specific. So experimental
Yeah.
music, yes, cassettes are in. Some ambient music, cassettes are in. But if I don't know if you're gonna press maybe Starflyer albums on cassette, I guess Cloud sells cassettes and they sell.
He does. He does. I have Everybody Makes Mistakes from Cloud too on cassette. So yeah.
Oh, right, right. When he was doing those bootlegs. I mean, no, when he
You
was
know,
licensing those from EMI.
ahem.
Yeah.
Ahem, yes. One of the funny things about the cassette version of Everybody Makes Mistakes is that he did a run of cassettes. I think a couple of the ones he made were like this, where like there wasn't any window, because like most cassettes, you can look through the case, the
Oh,
shell, and see
yeah.
like where the tape is. Do you have to rewind it to start at the beginning? Like how far through the
Right.
tape are we? And for the Everybody Makes Mistakes cassette, like it was a windowless shell. So like there was no way to
Oh,
tell.
I think I do have that.
which played perfectly into the hidden track. Because if you're
Yeah.
like listening for the hidden track, then like who knows how much silence is on this tape? How much tape must unspool before we get to hear the saxophone? I don't know.
Right.
But I thought that was great. I'm presuming that was intentional, perhaps. But if it wasn't intentional, it was just like a wonderful coincidence that like this truly is a hidden track on the cassette because I can't tell how much tape is left.
I never thought about that, but yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah, but tape, it's like cats and dogs, right? Like if vinyl is your loyal, loving dog that will always be there for you, cassettes are like the cat that really hates your existence and really could care less, except for the fact that it needs you for something, you know?
No, totally, totally. And I will say I have had some cassettes that the tape has broken.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
My tape repairing skills are limited.
Well, and
Very
screw whoever came up with the cassette shell that doesn't have any screws you can you can remove, right? Because like if it's a professionally
F
produced
that guy.
cassette that's basically just fused together forever, I just had that. I got a copy of Third Eye Blind's Blue, which is my wife's first CD that she bought and like hid from her parents because it was, contraband. She wasn't allowed to listen to it, right? So I have
Is it racy? Is it racy,
I mean,
or just because it's not Christian?
It was not very
Not
Christian. Yeah.
Christian market, that's racing. Yeah.
Yeah. But I bought it for a premium from this guy on Discogs, and I rewound the tape. It showed up, like halfway through. So I rewind it in my player, and it keeps on rewinding. I'm like, it's taking a long time for this thing to rewind. I stop it. I open it up. Oh, it's disconnected from the other spool. So now, like, there's no coming back and it was one of those cassette shells where, like, I can't take because I've done this before. You take the screws out. There's 5 screws in the cassette. You get some Scotch tape. You very deftly put it on, and then it works. And there was no way to do this without destroying the cassette. I actually tried this before. I had Wow 1996, the CCM compilation.
You destroyed that, Brock?
Oh,
how dare you?
It destroyed itself, first of all. It is a cat-like cassette that hates me and doesn't want me to be happy for any reason. And it snapped. It just like, I couldn't do it. But in this case, I would be able to tape the two halves back together. It was like mid-tape or whatever. And so I couldn't unscrew that one either. No screws in the cassette. Like that's the best idea that somebody ever had was to have screws in the cassette so you could take it apart if you have to. So I did, in fact, destroy the cassette shell, pulled the tape out, taped it back together to listen to Wow 1996. Why? I don't know.
Wow.
Oh, great album. Yeah.
But it can be done. And I had like a spare cassette, like a blank or something sitting around that was a screw shell, and so I was able to repair that one. But yes, Third Eye Blind Blue, I would have to destroy it, and I'm not willing to. Fortunately, the Discogs seller was like, "Hey, I'll give you a refund. You're a nice guy." I've had that happen to me too. He was like the most empathetic Discogs seller I've ever known. So
nice.
props on that guy. I should find his handle so we can everybody go buy from this guy.
Yeah,
He'll treat you right.
Yeah. Let us know. We'll put it up there on our social media.
There we go. Sounds good. So, anyways, cassettes. Sorry, I was long spooled anecdote, but yes, I kind of like them and I kind of don't for the reasons that we've discussed.
Yeah, there is like the low entry level. Like you can do a run of 50 cassettes and they're $250 or whatever. So it's easy to make. But yeah, that's also like I don't know, Gen Z kids fetishizing like old man media or whatever. Maybe there's some of that.
That's right. Yep. Now, I kind of want to find like a way to make some singles because I feel like that would be like Scott, do you remember the Elms?
Oh, I do know that band. They're like a Texas band, right?
Indianapolis, actually. The other Texas, the Texas of the Midwest. Yeah.
Were they on a Texas label?
No, they were like Sparrow Records back in the day. So they got started in the CCM industry. Oh, hey, you've got the records there, the vinyl version of their complete studio albums.
You're welcome.
But they had a good run of like 10 years as a band. They played real hard. They toured hard. They left the CCM industry and went to just kind of general market. I think the last record was self-released or whatever. They did real well. They got out when they could, but. they just got back together this last year for like a reunion show, and in advance of the show, they did this new single. It's a great song. It's called "What a Time to Be Alive."
What
But
a
I,
time to be alive. All right, continue.
yeah, it's a great song, and they haven't done anything with physical media, but I'm like, this would make a great single. Like, I would just love to find a way to do this. So I
Right.
think I may have to hunt that down at some point.
Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, like I think I saw that you went to that show and I like knew the band name, but I drew a blank on all the details.
Yeah, no, I they were one of those bands that like it was just in my blood, and I didn't realize I insert obligatorily their song "Who Puts Rock and Roll in Your Blood." The answer is they do. The Elms do. But
Oh,
I went to see them for their 25th year reunion show. They put
Right.
it on. You know, they had two
yeah.
nights in Indianapolis. They did one night. They did two nights, and it was great. It was a lot of fun. But yeah, they're just like a great kind of rootsy Americana, kind of like Tom Petty meets Oasis meets Bruce Springsteen situation, like kind of very
Okay.
like heartland music, and yeah, a lot of fun. So
Okay.
yeah, but I've been thinking like I could bootleg it, but I would also maybe like to just like find a way to do it professionally and like get them to sign off on it and say, here, I'll buy a run of however many singles, and here we go.
Right.
No, definitely. Okay. I'm sure you can do it.
I would imagine so. The internet tells me, but it also tells me that I have to like reach out to a pressing plant and like request a quote or whatever, and I don't want to do that without getting permission from the band. So
Yeah, totally,
yeah,
totally. Yeah, and it's probably
one
more
step at a
expensive than
time.
I think, actually. Yeah, unless you're doing like 10,000 of them.
And I mean, look, let's find out what 10,000 costs. We'll figure out whether it's viable or not. It sounds fun. It'll make it really affordable for all the people.
Nice, nice. You just got to
Yeah.
find 10,000 fans.
That's it. Yep, yep. Anyways, I forget singles. That was all I was thinking about. Cool deal. Well, Jared, Pete, any other questions about Burnt Toast Vinyl or anything? Any other questions about Scott Hatch in general? Scott Hatch has a great Instagram account. I gotta say, like, people have like some people have a format. Scott, you've got a great like kind of like I know what I'm looking at when I see it because I've seen it
Yeah.
before. You have music features. You've
Yeah,
got food and drink,
yeah.
and yeah, I just love how you've presented it. It's fun. It's a good follow.
All right, all right.
What's the
Just
if people wanted to, is this a public account? Is this one that you want people to follow?
Oh, they can. Yeah, you can follow Burnt Toast Vinyl. I don't post a lot on
Cool.
Instagram, to be honest. But then there's also BTV_Hatchy. That would be my personal account. And yeah,
There we
you can
go.
you can follow it. See me eating chili in Cincinnati or whatever. Yeah.
No, that's the good stuff. No, I appreciate how you put it together.
Yeah, and that's been the fun one that I've followed as BTB_Hatchy. That's been fun.
Yeah,
Nice, nice.
yeah, for sure. Can we anticipate any custom printed bottles of wine for Burnt Toast Vinyl artists?
Or bourbon.
No, we did Huntington's beer,
Okay.
That's
oh cool.
right.
and it was called the Slammer, and it was
I
a
love that.
10% double IPA that
Oh my
tasted
goodness.
Wow.
like a pale ale. And
Okay.
at
Uh-huh.
the album release show, we had the cans available. Let's just say it
Wow.
was a really good party.
I bet.
Amazing.
Well, you said it tasted like a pale because like it's really hard to make something imperial and also
You
make it
could
like easy drinking.
you could chug it. It was so easy to drink. I don't know how to explain it. I've not
Oh,
had a
wow.
beer that strong go down that easy. Yeah, it was really good.
Oh, okay. So
Wow.
who made it?
It was my friend's brewery called St. Boniface.
Okay.
He has since sold the brewery, so it still exists, but he's not the owner of it anymore. My old
He's
college
hiring those
roommate.
acrobats for his house now.
No, exactly. I don't think he made that much money out of the sale, but yeah.
Okay.
They sadly had a little bit of a problem inviting some Christian nationalists to speak at their
Oh,
brewery.
Mm.
So
That seems like a
Yeah.
significant problem. Yeah.
No, a little
Yeah.
bit. Un
angered
petit.
some folks, but yeah, I don't know. Anyhow,
I would say they don't deserve to hire acrobats for their house if that's the case. But
probably not. And I should probably talk more kindly to Mike work on it. But
once again,
I will
mime. I will mime wherever you need. Okay.
There you go.
My wedding was at a winery, and they did custom labels for us. And so we had it was just, I think it was a Pinot because it was Oregon. But it was, we had a bottle with our faces. And it wasn't our faces actually, but my sister had drawn like a cartoon version of me and my wife, and so we had that, just as the label art or whatever. A friend of mine who was one of my groomsmen, he gave me last summer. He was like, "Hey, I was going through my parents' place and I found this. Like, here's a bottle." And he gave me a bottle. It was an uncorked version of that wine. I don't know that it's aged well. And this is kind of like the Schrodinger's cassette. It's Schrodinger's wine bottle where I'm not sure if I want to open it and drink it. And my wife's like, "Oh, we should drink it." And I'm like, "I don't know if it's going to taste good or not. It might be a cool collector's item just to keep it as is." But we haven't made that choice yet. So
I did make some wild cider.
Ooh, I love cider.
And Dan Smith is celiac, so he's unable to drink beer anymore.
Sure.
And we were basically gonna make a batch of the wild cider called Solid Gold Tart, and Jad Fair had done the labels for it because Daniel and Jad had the album together called Solid Gold Heart. That was on Drug Boys and then also on Sounds Familiar. So we were trying to tie it all together, but I waited too long to get all the bottles labeled, and I failed. But the cider tasted good.
Nice.
That's good. I mean, the cider existed, right? Like that's the thing. That's the most important part is that you had a cider in tribute.
It did, and Jad hand drew the label. Like we could print the labels and make it a real thing. So
oh man,
could do it anytime.
All right.
Exactly. I'm trying to think of other bands we're aware of that made their, because like MXPX, they were working with Silver City Brewing, and I don't think that's available anymore. I think it was a limited run, but I kind of wish that I'd picked one up.
I did. There's a brewery in LA called Homage, or actually in Pomona. They're in LA now too, but I was trading beer with them, and they had a beer called Blue Collar Love.
Oh, yeah.
A blueberry sour beer, and it turned out that the brewer was like a Starflyer fan.
Amazing.
And so we had this like side conversation where I was like, well, I was just like staying over at Jeff Cloud, the bassist's house.
Yeah.
Like, wait, what? Entering into like a whole new relationship.
Right.
Because there's also there's like a Starflyer Brewing, I think, that doesn't have any connection to the band at all.
Yes.
But I remember seeing that online.
Yes. My friends Dave and Marianne in, I guess, the Canton, Akron, Ohio area are friends with the folks that run the brewery.
Yeah.
And they are now aware of the band, but that's not why they named it that.
It's spelled wrong, right? It's spelled with an I think.
No, it is spelled.
Is it with a Y?
I believe it is.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. Just no 59. Just no 59 in the brewery.
Right. Yeah. We'll get there later.
Yeah, so I'm not sure exactly how they
5.9%.
came up with the name without knowing the band, but
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I know Hanson, aren't they from like Tulsa? And they have one of the guys owns a brewery, and it was called Hops. Like no joke, I'm pretty sure that's what they called it. I'm pretty sure that was it.
Hops.
But I feel like there are probably more, and I'm not remembering them right now.
Oh yeah.
Now, the band that I was in back in 06, the drummer started a brewery, and we did our 13-year anniversary release for our record
Nice.
at his brewery. But I don't think he did a custom brew or anything. It was just like, hey, this is the guy from the band, and this is his beer. It's good beer, but
cool. Do you have an outro, Brock?
And that's the news from Lake Scabagon, where all of the toast is burnt, all of the vinyl is round, and all of Scott's Instagram content is above average.
Yes, onward, pickle soldiers.
Nice.
The perfect podcast. Yeah, wrapped it up.
Scott, thanks for joining us.
Really appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for making the time.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
This has been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Yeah, and if you're interested in coming back at some point, we're always interested in talking over if you've got new things you want to talk about sometime
for
in the
sure.
future. Sometimes we do this thing where it's called Oops All Guests, and we just like get people that we like that have been guests before and kind of throw them in a bag and let them fight, and we just don't toss. So
if I don't get invited, then I know that you didn't like me.
Oh no,
not necessarily. We can only fit so many. We can only fit so many guests in the bag at once.
Don't do this to our guests, Brock. Come on. No, we love you. We just have had so many guests.
That's the thing.
I just have to get another bottle of Stryper wine, and then
if you had one more, if you had just one more bottle of Stryper wine,
it's a bribery scheme we're up to. Yeah,
2029 is going to be our year. Yeah.
Oops, all Stryper.
God.
To hell with the hosts.
Right. To hell with the hosts.
Well, Scott, thank you so much. It really is. It's an honor to speak to you and to talk about these things. I'm so fascinated by the industry, and it was meaningful that you spent this much time with us.
Sure, no, great talking to you all. Have a great night, and
legit.
Another time.
Yeah, please come back. We'd love to have you.
Awesome.
Did I step on your trumpet or did I lump them in with you?
Did he step on your trumpet or did he lump?
I put your name on the ballot 'cause you should run, though you don't want to.
He put your name on the ballot, thought you should run.
Just one more Stryper wine question.
Oh, right. We have to ask.
Just kidding. I think we've.
So, Stryper wine. If Stryper wine were to be a bourbon, would you think it would be a Kentucky or actually bourbon's only Kentucky? Never mind.
I was going to say controversial.
Or would it be a blended Canadian whiskey? Yeah.
Oh no, that's not. Oh gosh, that's not Kentucky. Dude. For Kevin, we had to ask one more time, right?
But it can't be bourbon and not be in Kentucky. You just have to. There's some guidelines,
right?
I mean, because let's be honest, most Kentucky bourbon is made across the river in Indiana.
We're going back to Indiana now. Sorry, go ahead.
How am I looking in your frilly bonnet with the diamond on it? I guess I better go.
How's he looking in your frilly bonnet with the diamond on it?
I'm a people magnet when I wear your jacket. Good luck getting this, please, city people. It's so predictable. We love you now.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.